Hello, friends, and welcome to Miss Pixel's Fantastical Circus. Every stream on this channel starts with us laughing because of you.
Yeah.
And I said that aggressively. It's a compliment.
What a legacy.
I'll take it how I want to take it. Thanks.
Hello, and happy Halloween weekend, friends. Thank you so much for joining us for this very, very special stream. This is going to be a Call of Cthulhu one-shot sponsored by Chaosium, so thank you very much to our friends at Chaosium for making this possible, and making it possible to build a tiny circus inside our tiny shed studio. So shout out to them. We are going to get into the game here in just a second, but first of all, there are many ways that you can participate in this game. It's not our usual type of participation. Instead, we have a Discord video chat going on right now. It's a little Halloween party. We like to host something for you all in case maybe you didn't have plans tonight, or maybe you held your night just to hang out with us like we did. So you can jump on over there. Getting into the Discord is free. You don't even have to be subscribed. Follow the link in the About panels or that's popping up in chat right now. There will be multiple video channels because it turns out the video limit on Discord is 25 people. So there's going to be a few of them. Y'all can pop around and visit each other if you would like.
Like a real house party.
Like a real house party. You know, a lot of people will be gathering in the kitchen.
Yeah.
A couple of people will have found their way into someoe's bedroom that the door was closed.
Yes, bad.
The door was
I mean,
closed,
good.
but they...
I got gesticulated at because you know I'm exactly that person that's like, free room!
1,000% I do. So, jump in there, check it out, hang out with everybody. We're inviting you to role play in there. What is a circus without an audience? So, you know, if you want to describe how you're dressed up for the circus, what you're doing in there, what you're looking forward to, have some fun with your fellow circus patrons. But before we get too far into it, let's go around and let's meet our players. You'll introduce your characters in a moment, but starting with just who you are, Luis.
Oh, hi. I'm Luis Carazo, and I'm happy to be here. And I'm not going to talk about my character yet, but you can find me on Twitter and on Instagram. I'm an actor. I usually got something happening in that field, but I also do some of this now. So hell yeah, hell yeah.
Luis isn't allowed to leave. He played a couple of games with us, and we've kidnapped him, and he's ours now. Also, hi, I'm Kailey Bray.
Kidnapper.
The kidnapper extraordinaire.
Kidnapper. Luis Carazo. Very proud
I
of
didn't
our
know we
little
introduced
circus.
ourselves by admitting to crimes.
Welcome
turn.
Welcome to the bit.
All right. Did you introduce yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the crime.
Yeah, what's your crime, Alex?
Hi, my name is Alexander Ward. I am also an actor. I also sometimes
That's the crime.
commit larceny.
That
But I'm very excited to be here. I like horror stuff, so I'm very happy because anytime I get to do horror stuff, that makes me happy.
Yay. Hi, Aabria Iyengar. Murder 1.
Done in one.
That's so fast. I feel like I can't properly introduce myself. I have to do like a bit.
Oh, the thing is, we never establish a normal cadence. Like,
Yeah,
you gotta
everybody
just
did
make your
something
own
different.
choice in the space.
Hi, I'm Emme Montgomery. I'm a voice actor, TTRPG player, and full-time streamer here on Twitch. And I'm gonna go with like petty shoplifting, pickpocketing as my crime.
All right.
Only useless items though. Nothing useful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So many paper clips.
It's a lot of paper clips. Nothing
So
yet to
many.
keep them in. They're loose.
They're all in one
Who has
string.
papers?
And I am Saige Ryan, and I will be your keeper for this evening. It's my first time running Call of Cthulhu, which I'm very excited about. I've played a lot of it, but it is my first time in this seat. I don't sit in this seat a lot at the circus in general, so I am nervous. Yes, Aabria.
Okay.
And my crime, did no one say arson?
No, it's
No.
No.
Arson!
Yay!
Good for you very much. I appreciate
It's
that.
the
All
strawberry
of you.
fruit
You
snack.
know. My strawberry crimes.
If anyone's gonna burn anything down.
That sounds like a euphemism for
He's-
homosexuality.
Strawberry crimes.
Honestly.
Strawberry crime. Nice. Nice.
We've got to make an A24 period movie of my strawberry crime.
I'll do it.
There's so much yearning. Please run your game.
Strawberry crimes.
Okay. Incredible start. A carnival barker yells into a wooden megaphone, amplifying as he yells, "Tickets are going fast! Get your seat! See the spectacle! Clowns, acrobats, and mind-turning madness! Fill your hearts with the memories of Miss Pixel's Fantastical Circus!" As patrons slowly usher their way towards a large red and white striped tent. It's 1922. Everyone is dressed appropriately for 1922. Whatever that looks like. This is not at you, Aabria. This is at me not writing down any clothing descriptions. Not one! The tent is somewhat haphazardly strewn together with lots of exposed clamps and ropes, holding it together by a hope and a prayer, most certainly. Pumpkins line up the walkway as it is October, and it is opening night at the circus. The carnival barker continues to yell into the megaphone over the crowd as a ticket taker stands at the front, taking tickets, pulling a piece off, and handing the other half back to some circus goers. A lot of people have gotten pretty well dressed up. The circus is a special occasion for some, and it's opening night. Some even might be special guests of Miss Pixel herself. Pushing in to the tent. There's nothing on the stage yet. The lights are still dim upon the stage. People are finding their seats. We push through the curtain that closes off the area of the stage. And where do we find Freddy?
Freddy. So, Alfredo Retrocido, also known as Freddy Twisted, is currently stretching in like the kind of the backstage tent area because he is a trapeze artist, a trapeze swinger, and is also a contortionist. But right now he is taking advantage of this preparation to have some alone time away from his twin brother, who is part of his act, Bobby. So the two of them butt heads a lot, and right now he is taking some me time, stretching it out, getting ready to go on.
In the backstage of the circus, all of the magic and illusions that they've tried to create on the front of it to the best of their ability are gone. It's mostly sectioned off areas that are kind of a sad excuse for like a dressing area. You have an assigned little dressing area, but it's really just a curtained off section in the back of the tent behind the stage. You are there as a bunch of stagehands in red jumpsuits are rushing back and forth, doing things like pulling on ropes to tighten areas of the tent, setting up some of the stunts. One rolls by a giant foam boulder over to the other side of the backstage area to load up on the side of the stage. Continuing through backstage as a bunch of people are pulling and setting up. Where do we find Selena?
I think we find Selena just tripping over Freddy as he's got his like legs stretched out like a sandbag on her shoulder. Like, Freddy, jeez, how many times have I told you not to stretch back here?
There's only so much space, and you're gonna have to work with me. Come on, you can step over my leg. It's okay.
Oh my God, Lars, you're rolling the boulder the wrong direction.
Sorry.
And she just
Just
like
rolling
keeps,
it backwards.
Yeah. Watch, acrobat.
Sideways.
Ready?
As soon as she steps over my leg and perfectly timed, I stretch over that leg as she clears it.
I'm just like moving about my business, trying to get as many things done as quickly as possible.
Moving over to another one of the curtained off dressing areas, a mirror with some large light bulbs shining light. Where do we find you?
I am off in a quiet as it can be backstage corner with my husband, Patrick, and both Margaret and Patrick Kelly are speaking kind of quietly under their breath. So if somebody were to walk past them, you wouldn't be able to pick up what they're saying, but between the two of them, you hear them saying very, very minute variations on things like, and Mr. Kelly, could you please describe for the audience what you're seeing in your mind? And Mr. Kelly, would you please describe for the audience what you're seeing in your mind? And as Margaret's making these very small changes, you hear Patrick whispering back the names of objects that she's pretending to hold from various audience members as they practice their routine.
Fantastic. Continuing through the backstage area, the rest of the circus is preparing for the biggest day. This is their opening act. They've been on hiatus for a little bit, and it is a show to impress tonight. Penelope Pixel pushes through, and as she does, it feels like each person, each of the stage hands, each of the other acts kind of like freezes as she comes by because she walks with such a presence. A tall woman, 6'2", with a perfectly tailored red coat and tight black pants, silently makes her way through the back of it and heads up to the steps on the side of the stage. We see Claudette, a strong woman, just absolutely ripped, standing backstage, pulling on one of the actual ropes that has like a sandbag attached to it, just as like pumping a little bit as a stagehand is like, sorry, could you just not, actually, we need that, sorry. You see a young boy. All of you who are in the circus just know him exclusively as Alligator Boy. He stands at about 4 feet tall, about 9 years old, and he sits by a kiddie pool they've dragged in of water with an alligator in it. And he sits just petting an alligator on the top of the head. We see Malicia, who stands with some sticks with fire catchers on the side of it, twirling and practicing with her unlit flame twirlers. She wears a fireproof spandex bodysuit that is tight and has rainbow flames all the way up the side of it. And heading out the side door up towards where Miss Pixel stands on the side of the stage, everybody is finding their seats slowly but surely. Where's Lenore?
Lenore is making her way to the box. She was a little delayed because she stepped on a bit of pumpkin that was smashed by some kid on the way in and is kind of trying to wipe it off on the side of the tent. She wears dark clothing that looks 5 or 6 years out of style, but it's all incredibly well tailored and well made. And if you listen really closely, though no one gets too close to her, you can hear in the swish of her fabrics the small tinkling of metal. And anyone that knows anything about the Riley family, or the cousins specifically, Cousin Lenny, no one would dare call her to her face, knows that she has small razor blades sewn into her clothing in case something pops off. And she's making her way to the box.
Fantastic. You make your way to Penelope Pixel's private, sectioned off box seats. It's the same seats with a rope around it, sectioned off for Penelope's special guests. Out in the more general area of the crowd, as everyone kind of pushes through, trying to get to the front row, Ronald.
Well, Ronald he gave his ticket to the attendant, and he got here a little late. He was rushing from work, and it was very stressful. He gets in, he grabs some popcorn from a vendor, and he finds his seat. He's very large, so he has a hard time kind of squeezing past people. I'm sorry, excuse me, please, I'm terribly sorry. And he finally gets to his seat, and he sits down, and he's scrunched between two people that are much smaller than him, but have taken up more room than they deserve. And he sits and waits for the show and eats his popcorn.
Feels a little real there.
Mr. Peterson! Can I call down to him from the box? Can I see him?
Absolutely, you
see,
can.
Popcorn shakes. Oh, hi. Hello. Hi, Miss Riley. How are you?
I'm good. How's business?
Lovely. We had some customers in a little late in the shop today, but everything was fine. I got here on time. I'm excited to see the show.
You look a little pressed. Do you want to come sit up here with me?
I didn't pay. I paid for my ticket down here. It's
Mr. Peterson, you should absolutely come sit up here with me.
All right. He takes his popcorn. He squeezes up and excuse me, pardon me, excuse me. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to step on your foot. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Thank you. And he walks up to the box.
A bouncer that stands holding the rope to the area, also wearing one of the red jumpsuits, but just a little bulkier than most of the stagehands you see running around, stands to lift it and then kind of looks at you like, you sure?
She said so.
specifically making pointed eye contact
Yes.
with your approval. He pulls back the rope and gestures for you to enter in.
Squeezes in.
Yeah, he did not leave enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi. Hello. It's
Hi.
good to see you. Thank you. This is very kind of you. Thank you.
So happy to do it. I would love to talk business while we're here, but we can save that for the end.
Okay. Yeah. Absolutely.
The section you're in is rather sparse. There's a few people in there, most of them wearing various furs and lavish coats. They all look well dressed as they sit. There's about 3 other people in the section and a few empty seats around each of you, as opposed to your previous seat where you were squished in between 2 people. You have like a whole section of it to yourself. The only person next to you would be Lenore, but your row is otherwise empty. And then there's 2 rows behind you that are also sectioned off for this VIP section. Sitting and looking out, they truly have created an encapsulating illusion. They start closing off the tent flaps as everyone's taken their seat, and once the flap to the tent closes, it is like you've been transported to another world. All of the stage decorations really kind of come together when there's not the daylight peeking in from it. The various large pieces of wood cutouts that create illusions of fireballs up towards the top of the stage look much more realistic in a lower light. And there starts to be a hush of whispers as a few of the Red Circus attendants start to kind of ask everybody to quiet down so that the show may start. A band off to the side of the stage begins to play. Slowly at first, and then a cacophony of noise. It is mildly music and mostly just sounds as 5 clowns run through the flaps of the stage and to the edges of the stage. There's 5 clowns, but the speed that they move at seems to fill the space of 10. They are zipping across the stage, squeezing blaring air horns, their makeup a thin layer of crusted white over aging skin. Vibrant blue paint exaggerate the shapes of their eyes, and bright red across their lips, slightly smudged to accentuate the size of their smiles as they all run around, mouths agape, yelling and honking their air horns to try and hype up the crowd a little bit, and the crowd does go wild. There are some children that hop out of their seats and are reaching up towards the stage to try and get the attention of the clowns in their polka dots and stripes. Stopping to say hello. They're very polite. They stop at the children, they say hello, but they do make a quick special stop at the VIP section here to give a little honk and a wave to you both.
I don't enjoy this.
Hi.
I am trying to disappear behind Mr. Peterson.
One pulls a bowling pin out and starts juggling one of them in one hand. It's just throwing it up in the air and catching it as they return back to the stage.
I wasn't prepared for audience participation. I don't really know what to do.
Is it juggling if it's only the one?
A bowling pin comes careening towards you. The clown has thrown it to you, at you.
In this moment of not paying attention to that, I don't see it coming.
They tried so hard to get your attention. Okay, great. Well, then in that case, you're not going to be rolling to catch them. I'm going to have you roll your dodge.
Okay, great.
Oh my gosh.
Just to remind myself, I have to roll underneath my dodge.
Correct.
I do not. I rolled a 75. I needed under a 23.
Because this is simply silly damage, this is just going to...
Favorite type of damage.
It's a little bit of clown forward damage. As a bowling pin that is not weighted like a traditional one, which is very fortunate for you at this time. It seems like it's almost made of like a plastic. Bonks you on the side of the head.
Oh dear.
As a clown from the stage.
I take it and I get up and I hand the pin back to him. I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to.
I changed my answer. I think I love clowns.
The exaggerated smile on the clown's face quickly turns to an exaggerated frown. The paint lines of smudged lipstick like a cartoon frown look at you as they take the pin back and they give one and head back to the stage.
Mr. Peterson, what have you done?
I don't know. I've never been to the circus before. I thought it was going to be a fun experience. So far, it's very stressful.
Giant spotlights zoom around the stage, pushing back to the backstage area. You're all lined up by the side of the stage in order. Do you have a preference of when your act goes up?
Oh, absolutely.
Tell me.
So I definitely do not want to be the opener.
Of course.
But if I am the opener, then it's because my brother did something wrong the last time we did this, which is why we've been bumped up. Because not everyone's here at the beginning.
True.
So,
So you're not opening, but you are close to the top of the line up. You know that the clowns always come out to cheer up the crowd. Mostly. And you know that Miss Pixel will come out and do an introduction. There will be one act formally before yours.
one?
One.
Just one.
Just one.
I'm glaring at my brother. Because last time we were preparing for this, there was definitely more acts between the opener and us. And now we are second to the opener. That's worse.
You actually see Bobby, like in the corner, yelling at a stagehand. The conversation is rather muffled, but you can see a lot of just like angry hand gestures as the stagehand is like, I'm not, and a lot of just like, hey man, this is not up to me. And the stagehand points to Miss Pixel as she does not acknowledge them whatsoever and proceeds to stand at the side of the stage.
I am just standing, fuming, and on occasion shooting a glare at my brother. I can't believe we've been muffed up. This is unacceptable. Stretching a little more while I'm there.
Selena, you know, as somebody who works in the circus, that parts of your responsibility are coming up. You have something that you do to contribute, essentially, to each act. The first person up after Penelope Pixel will be the strong woman. What's that grunt about?
Nothing. It's fine. I know exactly what I'm supposed to do for this stupid act. I've done it a million times since I was really little, and I'm just not a part of it anymore. This is the only time I actually have to be on stage.
Claudette, our strong woman of the circus, broad-shouldered and muscular, strides up towards the front of the stage and turns to you and goes, "Cheer up, sweetheart."
Why can't I just do everything backstage like I normally do?
Because you're part of it. You've always been part of it.
But yeah, I would love not to be part of it. I'm a little big to wear the stupid outfit and pretend that things are heavy.
You look so cute in it, though. Come on. And she does, like, pinch your cheek a little bit and go, "My dear daughter, this is our family. This is our legacy. I'll see you out there." And
These
she
are
gives you a pat on the
styrofoam.
head like a
Okay.
child. And she stands up behind Penelope. Penelope pushes out onto the stage, and the entire room goes quiet. Without saying anything, she commands the attention as she moves to the front of the stage, and a spotlight hits. She looks out to the crowd, and she looks out to you specifically. We see in the area surrounding the VIP section, somebody in a trench coat tuxedo drags long, just like you can hear the snacks rumbling as they're like trying to be quiet because the whole room has gone silent, and they're like fumbling with their snacks a little bit next to you. One of things like M&Ms in a little cardboard box drops, and they fumble it and pick it back up a little bit. As Miss Pixel looks out and goes, welcome everyone. I'm so happy you've decided to join us for today's show. It's going to be spectacular. It's going to be death-defying. It's going to be terrifying at times, but I assure you, each and every one of you are perfectly safe, and our performers are as well. So please, stay in your seats, settle your snacks, as we welcome to the stage, Claudette, the strongest woman alive. And she puts both of her hands out and walks backwards off the stage. At the last minute, even though the flaps are closed, somebody comes rushing in and just like pushes through it, and you see Penelope like spike it a little bit in the back of the audience as somebody tries to find like an isolated seat to themselves and in the back row. And Claudette does. Claudette takes the stage in a performance you know incredibly well. First, she comes out to the edge of the stage and she flexes towards each of you. You notice the special attention you are getting from everybody.
Ronald thinks it's to him, and he gets very uncomfortable, and then he realizes it, and he's like, oh, okay, it's fine.
And she is. The sleeves on her long-sleeved shirt have clear and visible seams as to where they are intended to rip, but she does her best to cover it as she pulls the sleeves off of her outfit and continues to flex.
Like take the like behind her, like grab the like pick it up and.
She walks to the center of the stage as she continues to gesture out towards the audience when she looks up. And this is a cue for you and the other stage hands as well. And she goes, "Oh no. Everyone is going to be okay, but I'm going to protect us." Looking up in the direction she's pointed at, there is a giant boulder hanging off of a platform that they have built.
Oh my gosh.
As a stagehand rolls the boulder off of the platform, and they're milking it. They're like, ugh, ugh, trying to push it over as they knock it off the edge of the platform, and it comes careening down towards Claudette. She catches it.
Oh my god.
Above her head.
She's so strong.
It's incredible.
You should go say hi after.
No.
I'd be more upset that you ate my glass.
Look, I have a problem with object permanence. I'm very sorry.
It's fine.
You two talking, Claudette does kind of keep looking over at you, and not in like a disapproving way like Penelope, but you do just keep catching her attention, so now she is kind of looking at you specifically.
Shit.
As she sets the boulder down with a big unnecessary thud. And bows. Backstage, a stagehand tells you that you're up.
I've been kind of peeking through the curtain watching the act, and as soon as the boulder that I know isn't heavy is caught,
Who could say?
Freddie is just like, all right, and kind of rolls his eyes. And I'll follow the stagehand up the ladder to the platform that we begin our trapeze act.
The stagehand stands just kind of like, you don't need me, but there to assist you should you need it, as you and your brother, identical twin brother, take to opposite sides of the stage and up the ladders to those high platforms. One of them is the platform that the boulder was pushed off of, and an identical one on the opposite side, as you make your way up to the top. Starting your act, your brother swings out first. Bobby swings across in a flourish across the stage. It is majestic. It is a bird in the sky as he coasts across. What do your uniforms look like? Are your leotards or?
It's a unitard. It is as tight and form-fitting as possible. You can see every strand of every muscle.
Fantastic.
Yes.
What colors?
They are. It's. I'm going to stick with the rainbow theme of that was described earlier. So we're going to have them start as like a rainbow all the way down to the top. But we're also wearing masks of foxes, and we. It looks the same. The rainbow on his is in reverse. So we're just variations of the same thing.
So the two men on opposite sides of the stage, in a perfect inverse of colors, take to the ropes across the top as Bobby swings across in a flourish and swings back to his platform, once again totally milking it, taking the time, and then swings across to grab you. And as he does, you'll hear the patter of rain start on the tent. The sound of it is amplified by the material of the tent, but shielded you from it, save for a small leak next to the stage, not near any seats, where like a stagehand pushes a bucket to catch a little bit of it. And Bobby swings across and reaches out for your hands.
And the timing is perfect. I leap out and I grab his forearms, and as I make contact and start swinging, I whisper to him under my breath, "Don't drop me this time."
Oh.
The stagehand's gesture from the floor to the fact that there is no net. It is the 1920s. Safety is simply not on the docket. So they run around under you essentially to show that there is no like hidden net or anything, feeling the space under the stage and showing off as the crowd oohs and ahs at the danger that you are in.
And to be fair, he didn't drop me last time, but there was a moment where we slipped and he had to catch. Because if he had dropped me, I probably wouldn't be here this time. But he knows what I'm saying. It's a dig.
Makes me wish I was back in my younger Vixen days.
Yeah.
And I think Selena has a part in this act too, as far as running backstage and making sure that she's got she's on some of the ropes on the backstage, as far as like securing things and prepping and lowering trapezes down for the next segments of things. Like, this is just part of her job. She's so happy to be out of the spotlight.
Fantastic. You feel when you whisper to Bobby, him kind of like grip down on your arms a little harshly as he's held on to you, like, "Oh, you don't want me to drop you? Okay, then." As he like squeezes around your arms a little bit, but you're successfully able to get back over to the platform. You've done this act a million times. As he drops you back off on your platform, he swings to the center and grabs onto another rope, letting go of the trapeze itself, and just a single rope hangs in the middle. He lowers himself down onto it and holds by his legs as he lets go with his hands and dangles downwards as a flash of lightning strikes. Thunder booms throughout the tent, and it is like it is through a speaker. It is so loud inside of the tent.
Good heavens.
Are you okay, Mr. Peters?
I'm fine. Just startled me as well. It's fine.
It also rumbles through the backstage, not being able to quite see what's going on up there. You're able to hear the patter of the rain, and it's certainly not the first time it's rained in the tent. You've been with the circus about 2 years. But it does seem like it is strangely very, very loud in here as it like clatters through the backstage area, and Alligator Boy in particular kind of goes like and hugs the alligator.
I love Alligator Boy.
I would kill a guy for Alligator Boy.
And the alligator, so chill, so calm about it, just kind of rests its head on the edge of the small kiddie pool to allow the kid to kind of grip onto it. On stage, your brother, on just the clatter of lightning out of nowhere, it wasn't even raining earlier, starts to slip a little bit and slides all the way down to the end of the rope and just barely catches himself. Hanging on by his legs, he looks a little bit shaken, and he looks to you in a moment of panic. All of the rage and competitive nature and general kind of pushing that he does to you lets go for a second as he looks at you in fear as he slides down the rope and catches on with a gasp.
I return that because there is a rivalry, but there is still a love between us. And as soon as I see that panic in his eyes, which is very unfamiliar to me, it's mirrored in me immediately right back to him. And I start looking around to see if there's a stagehand near me, but I'm on a platform, and is there someone that I can call to on the bottom? Are you up here too?
I think I probably I'm securing the rope, so I could have his rope.
So what's going on? Are the conditions safe? This isn't this. I've never seen.
It's just a storm. It just a storm came out of nowhere.
Okay, well,
Just keep going.
and I catch the trapeze. The swing moves my way, and just in time for my portion of the act, I'm going to catch it and swing over on the other side, and I do a flip partway through, catch it again as I then land on the platform across, and immediately shoot him another look to make sure if he's okay.
Interesting. Okay. I'm gonna have you make a roll for that. Now, there aren't particularly acrobatic skills on these character sheets. What would you like to use to be able to do that? Would you like to use, are you trying to like jump over to it? Would you like to use your climb? What is a skill that you would know how to utilize your skills?
Yeah. Could it be a? I know it's a characteristic, but can it be just a dexterity roll?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We've also got like jump and climb. And
Yeah,
stuff.
jump and climb is what I
Right.
started with, but if dexterity is where it's at for you, this is your skill, this is what you're good at, so you should be able to use the thing you're empowered in.
I will. Regardless, it's a pretty resounding success. It's 39
Ooh.
over either 70 or 80, depending on what we decide to use.
Okay. That's absolutely enough to succeed very smoothly, covering up even a little bit for the fear coming from your brother as the audience looks a little bit concerned. Pushing out to the crowd, you can see a bunch of people holding onto their pearls a little bit like, goodness, really they thought that he was going to fall, and a mouse skitters across a lot of your feet.
What?
Right past you. A literal mouse skitters right past you.
What?
A mouse!
Oh, it's gone. It's fine. It's gone. This is very stressful evening.
Is a circus good?
This is my first one. I have no idea.
I went to one as a little girl, but
My mom took it to the circus. I was like, oh, circus is in town. I'll go with the. It's like, yeah, no.
The audience mutters around you. Is this part of the show? I don't know what it's supposed to be. Someone else, is this storm going to be a problem? Are they going to have to call off the show? A lot of people trying to figure out if it's intentional or not because they just got faked out by the boulder. And it's like, is this part of it? Should we be okay?
Just one big piece of tin in the back.
Can we skip the next like physical stuff and do one of our like showier ones where they're not climbing on stuff?
Penelope is standing on the other side of the stage from you, towards the side that your brother would have climbed up on, so the exact opposite, and is standing there looking at you as you're like, she can tell you're panicked and trying to adjust, essentially. She's trying to like read your lips across the stage, and she's trying to.
Can we do something else? Okay.
The rain continues, but without much event to it. It seems like it has calmed down a little, and it's just back to the pattering of it. And if you would like to proceed with your act, do you want to avoid some of the stunts, or do you want to just finish out your act as usual?
I'm going to continue as usual. I don't want to risk. I don't want to risk getting demoted further. So I'm looking around. I think I'm trying to catch Penelope's eyes as well, which I'm sure is watching us like a hawk.
Absolutely.
And I'm continuing with the act as is. And to cover for him, I'll try to throw an extra flip
Ooh.
in my next pass as he then prepares to do his next stunt after that.
I'm going to say with that very successful dexterity check, you are able to do all of that without going for another roll of it. And you do, and the audience looks thrilled. They're all back on track, and I do think that they probably think this was part of it now, for the most part. You hear most of them being like, wow, they really had me there for a second.
Okay. I'm starting to see the
I get
appeal.
it.
I
get
get
it
I'm starting
now.
to understand.
It's thrilling. She did tell us at the beginning. I forgot immediately. I'm just so invested.
I'm just nervous in general.
Yeah, I know.
One of the people in the VIP section behind you actually hands you a little pamphlet that just is like the lineup for the show, essentially, and goes, I think it was part of the act.
Oh, no one asked you.
Oh,
Right, I just, sorry, I just,
You're still interacting.
as she like leans back
hand you the
into her chair, roll to intimidate.
Ooh, let's go.
Sinking as far as possible into his chair. Just
I rolled so good. I should have used the lie roll from before. I got a 90.
Oh my god!
Hold on. How does luck work? Can I burn it all together?
You could if you really want to.
What's the worst that could happen?
In Call of Cthulhu, luck is a skill that you both need for things and can expend on things. If you are looking for something, you might use a luck roll to try and find it, or if you done goofed and it's very important to you, you can expend that luck and lower that overall score to get closer to the number. What is your skill? What is your number that you needed to roll under?
70.
So, how much luck do you have?
50.
And you want to use 20 of it to
20.
successfully intimidate this person.
Well, now
The person looking at you wears a detailed bodice and an asymmetrical green skirt, black and white striped armbands and tights, looking like they dressed up like for the circus, and had a huge smile on their face as they were leaning over to you that immediately drops when you make eye contact with them. That's like, I was just, are you gonna do it?
yeah.
You're gonna do it?
Yeah.
You're gonna use that?
I'm sorry. I feel like the attention was on me, and now I can't back down. Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
I'll take risks, baby.
What?
Let's go.
Big swings.
The chaos.
I have 30 now. That's fine.
You have as much
Let
as
me
I start
intimidate
with.
this very lovely person.
I have so much
You
luck.
do. You intimidate
Yeah,
this
I rolled
very
99.
lovely person as they recoil back into their seat, and they actually scoot backwards to the row behind them, like even one higher up, and sits and continues to watch the circus in silence.
Worth it.
And finally hands you back your flask. Everything is just
So
insanely just uncomfortable. Just fists clenched on his knees.
I have an important question.
Yes.
Are you implying that there's empty seats? Which is why they can actually move from one seat to another one because it's unoccupied?
I will say the majority of the general admission section is pretty busy, but
Okay.
this is a private box that
Oh, okay.
Penelope Pixel has set aside for only her most esteemed guests. That does have some empty seats, and I will say there's a few empty seats in the crowd, but overall,
Unacceptable.
you've had a great turnout.
Okay.
You've
should
had
do
much
more
worse
flips.
nights.
Do a flip.
Maybe.
No more flips.
Do a flip with busting seats.
Backstage, a stagehand interrupts you and your husband rehearsing and just goes, hey, it's about time for you to go up.
Already?
Yeah, Miss Pixel did a big reorganization tonight.
Margaret's gonna turn to Patrick. Reorganization?
And he looks a little guilty. And he's like, I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you that we were getting moved up in the lineup this evening. I don't know. I wasn't particularly told why, but somebody needed to go up later or something.
You didn't think to ask why we were being bumped from a premiere slot on opening night?
Penelope expressed the importance of it, and at the end of the day, it is Penelope's show.
Well then, let's go put on Penelope's show.
And he leads out, following the stagehand to the side of the show. There's a few clowns back out into the audience, just like getting everybody to quiet down. They're kind of like clown / miming.
As one does.
Somehow thrown the thing against an invisible wall and it beeps. I don't know how they did it.
And everybody does quiet down. Penelope takes the stage. And how do you like to be introduced? How is your act introduced?
Oh gosh, that's a great question. Margaret's stage name that she goes by is Misfortune. And the more adjectives you put in front of it when introducing her, the better.
Incredible. Does your husband also have a stage name? Or is he just Patrick? Just Patrick.
What a power move.
Patrick and Misfortune.
The fabulous Misfortune and Patrick.
Don't think I won't.
Honestly, I can't have that idea in my head and not take it. So yes, he's just Patrick.
You got it.
That's so good.
Penelope stands at the edge of the stage, clasping her hands together as she gestures out and goes, "What comes to the stage next will boggle your mind and might even infiltrate it. The fantastical, the wondrous Misfortune and Patrick.
So good.
It's just Patrick.
Why is it just?
Her name is nice. It's a misfortune. I
Yeah,
get it. It's
I would think
the-
like, and then you'd be like misdirection or something like.
Right.
That's good.
But it's
no,
just Patrick?
It's bad. Honestly, bad writing.
To us down! She takes off from the stage. The spotlight hits a smaller area, as a lot of the acts in this are very, very physical. There is a table that is set up for you to come out and speak, almost like a podium initially. And Patrick leads out to the stage first and takes his position.
Clap to the stage hand.
Tell me about your act.
So Margaret and Patrick, to the audience, they are telepathically communicating. That's their whole shtick. They can telepathically communicate with one another, and Margaret can intuit things. So a trick that they commonly do is an audience member gets brought up, and Margaret has a blindfold on, and Patrick will have the audience member hold an object and will ask Margaret to, while blindfolded, say what the object is that that person's holding. And she gets it right every time.
Fantastic. So you are going to need an audience participant. Looking out over the audience as the stage hands encourage everyone to raise their hands to volunteer, you see a person wearing glasses and a red jacket with a gray flat top ivy hat, standing and like really trying to get your attention. But you also see in the VIP section, which you know generally is people that Penelope's trying to impress, you do also see a hand raised.
You, sir, would you be so kind as to join?
All right.
Right this way.
Puts his popcorn down.
Immediately
Stands
eating
up.
it.
Starts moving out, being both large on the X and Y axis. Gets out of there and comes down the stairs and
It's only two-dimensional.
yeah, it's just comes down and kind of gets to the edge of the stage, doesn't know really where to go, and like eventually awkwardly finds his way onto the.
Yeah, just.
Thank you. Hello,
What's your name, sir?
Ronald.
Just Ronald? Like my husband, just Patrick?
Ronald Peterson. Nice to meet you.
Ronald Peterson. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Ronald Peterson. Now, Mr. Peterson.
Who was that?
I know.
Mr. Peterson,
Yes.
in just a moment, my husband, Patrick, will be placing this blindfold on me, and you will grab an item out of your pockets and show it to my husband, but never to me.
Okay.
Yes, that is right, ladies and gentlemen. I will not be seeing the object that Mr. Peterson will have in his hands, but I will be able to tell you what it is. Are we ready to witness?
The crowd goes wild. The crowd is eating this up. Especially after all the danger, they're like, yeah, let's actually take a minute and just do some weird stuff. Let's get into it. And Patrick does take the blindfold from you, and you watch his onstage persona activate. And he goes, "Are you ready, darling?"
Yes, dear.
As he places the blindfold around your eyes and ties it and ushers you into the seat set up behind the small table. What have you got in your pockets?
What have I got in my pocket? Ronald just kind of, as soon as he hears he has to have something in his pocket, he immediately has a panic attack. Because he cannot remember a single thing he has in his pocket. And then he reaches around, he reaches into a little pocket on his vest. And he pulls out a large coin that's just an old coin that's more of a keepsake than actual currency. And he holds up this giant, almost like doubloon-sized coin.
Okay. Patrick takes the doubloon-sized coin from you, and using the very familiar speech cadence that we heard practiced backstage. He holds it out to the audience. It's just a coin, but everybody, ooh. And he goes, I don't know, darling, this one might be a little tricky.
You say that every time, Patrick.
He holds it straight out as he puts a hand to his temple. And he goes, okay, connect with me. Hear me in your mind. See it in your mind.
It's small, but still easy to hold in your hand, is it not, Mr. Peterson?
Oh, yes, yeah, you can hold your hand.
He repeats your phrases back in a way that signals either approval or disapproval of them. And so he says, it's small in a way, and is repeating it to the audience just to make sure that they could hear you, of course. Easy enough to hold in your hand.
And it's... Now, is this right? I'm getting that it's an object made of a metal of some sort or some kind. Is that correct, Mr. Peterson?
Yes, it is correct.
The audience is already like, oh, how are they doing that? You hear someone say, I hear misfortune never gets it wrong. And he repeats the phrase once again in a positive affirmation of what you've said. In it, you can hear just lightly him like start tapping the side of it a little bit, like as he's just showing it to people to give you the little sounds from it.
A gold coin. Is it not?
It is golden color. So yes, it is a gold coin. Yeah.
And she pulls the blindfold off and does a little.
There's a cacophony of claps and cheering.
Oh, delightful.
I fall for that every time.
As Patrick flips your coin back to you.
He's gonna fumble in catching it because he has no ability to be cool. So he fumbles and he finally catches it and he goes, thank you.
I start a clap for I'll catch it again. Woo!
Mr. Peterson, everyone.
Thank you, Misfortune, and Patrick. and he leaves. He just quickly shuffles back to the edge.
Okay.
As you get to the edge of the stage and go to step off of it, there's a loud thwack against the top of the tent.
What?
And the rain stopped.
What was that?
Inclement weather, I'm sure. Everyone, another round of applause for our wonderful guest star. And Margaret's just going to look up to where the sound was and see if she can see anything.
Do a spot hidden roll for me, please.
Okay.
Go Margaret, go.
Ooh. I rolled an 11.
Let's go!
So.
With an 11, you don't see a specific thing that hit the tent, but you do notice that it was daytime, of course, when the show started. It should only be about 2 p.m.-ish now. It's an appropriate time for children to come out to the circus on the weekend.
Appropriate children.
But it's darker in the tent now. Like, it seems like maybe the sun has started setting. Maybe it's later than you thought it was. It just seems like the sun is not shining on the tent and illuminating through the white stripes as much as it usually would be. That's fine.
Margaret's just going to kind of shoot a look to Patrick, a look of concern and look up, and then pull her face back into her performing mask and go on with their set.
The rest of your set goes on without a hitch. It is perfect. The crowd is astounded. You can hear the people already in their reviews. Oh, and she's done it again. Incredible. As we move backstage, a stagehand in yellow ushers up a group of 6 people in tight leotards. They drag long ribbons behind them, and they wear masks that cover the majority of their face. Standing up at the side of it, it seems like the masks are very like hand stitched together with just kind of eye holes in them and almost like a burlap material. Their outfits have like a little prim and proper collar on the top of their leotard as they all prepare with their little ribbons. The stagehand helps them up to the side of the stage. Okay. You would be aware that obviously, you know, the whole lineup has gotten, as you're coming off the stage of it, it appears that this is what you were pushed for.
Oh. Are we familiar with
Are
this
these strange?
act?
Just strangers?
Yeah.
Where are you?
I have moved backstage, and I think I was with my brother, making sure, kind of reconciling. I gave him some crap earlier and saw him slip, and was checking on him during the act that came after us, and I think kind of cooling down after that.
You know that there are acts that sometimes come in different cities as you travel, people that pop in for just this location of it as opposed to people that travel with the circus. And Penelope Pixel does stand at the side of the stage with them, just kind of like fixing a last piece on one of their costumes as she looks over it all and looks to you, staring.
So this new act, what is it that they do?
And she gestures to the ribbons on a handle in their hand. Ribbon twirling. The kids love it.
You can hear Margaret as she walks past going, I got bumped for ribbon twirling.
Both of you make a sanity check for me.
Oh, these are cool ribbons.
Jealousy can really mess with your head.
I failed.
Okay.
I spectacularly failed.
How spectacularly?
Oh,
That's a double zero.
oh, thank goodness. Oh my gosh. I read that completely
spectacularly
wrong.
succeeded.
Yeah.
I spectacularly succeeded. I'm the most sane I've ever been. I've never been more sane. I rolled a 4.
Fantastic. Okay. You vaguely remember something being said about ribbon twirlers in the city.
Huh.
You've been awfully caught up in the rivalry with your brother. You know that the act has been grueling this season to get together, especially for the first show here. And Penelope's been putting a lot of pressure on you all, and you feel like maybe she mentioned it to you at some point.
Oh yes. I apologize. I suppose I'm a little bit worked up because of what happened. Someone should really check the the ropes. Maybe someone on the other end of it, someone on the crew side of things was not pulling the ropes properly. It just did not seem as secure as they've been in the past. And he sort of kind of touches his head, it rubs his forehead a little bit, and then just starts to like step away and walks back towards wherever I would go to get like just some water.
Yeah, there's definitely a little station with a table that has like a cooler, essentially. It's not particularly cold, but a jug of water that you're able to pour out into some cups. You, on the other hand, have never seen these people in your life.
And I know that that's unusual, or that does happen every so often.
It's not that there's never been a new act, but you haven't heard anything about it.
Penelope.
Yes, the show is on. What?
I'm just curious. I must have missed the new act joining us. Who are they?
You must have. Interesting. As I was just telling Freddie, the kids love the ribbon twirling, so while we're here in a area with much opportunity to make money and continue to pay you all, we're putting up some acts that are more child-friendly than mind reading.
And where did you find these child-friendly performers?
They're local. If you don't have any more questions, I will continue my show.
Always a pleasure.
And
she's
she
gonna-
does a fake head nod to you as well.
They do it like at the same time, I think.
Great. And Penelope ushers each of them onto the stage like a pageant mom. As they spread out onto the stage, there are 6 of them that stand in a perfectly aligned, staggered into windows formation as the band begins to play once again, dragging the ribbons across the floor and swirling them over their head. It is beautiful. You're, of course, in the audience. Where are you two during an act that you're not working on?
I'm backstage. I'm kind of in the wings because I'm also like realizing that I don't know anything about this group and I don't know what we're supposed to be doing for them. Like I'm like looking up at lights and trying to just kind of be like, it's a little stuck about what I'm supposed to. So I start trying to like figure out, like try and like guess what they're doing to see if I'm supposed to be doing something and nobody told me.
The stagehand that you saw earlier in a yellow jumpsuit comes by and just like pulls you aside a little bit and goes, "Aren't you supposed to be on the other side?"
I don't know. Am I?
I believe so. We're supposed to stand on the sides and watch. I think there's a hand signal they're going to do or something.
And then what? What hand signal? What are we supposed to be doing? Who are these people?
I don't know.
When did this happen?
Twirlers. They twirl.
They need us for twirling?
Yeah, I think they're going to throw some stuff.
Oh, we have to catch stuff?
Yeah, you gotta catch the stuff.
Okay. And then I just run across.
And they go to the side opposite of you and prepare to catch. As you get to the side of the stage, though, make a sanity check for me.
Sure. I'll save the big boy for
It's
important
so
stuff.
dangerous. I missed my drink.
Ooh.
So exciting.
I rolled a 7.
Let's go!
Oh, 7! How fantastic. That's really cool. And you're... describe to me what you're doing on the side of the stage.
I think that I like get prepped and I'm watching them and I'm realizing it doesn't look like they're about to throw anything. They don't have stuff, and like if they were gonna throw the ribbons, like they'd have to throw them pretty far. They don't. That's not. So I think I take a moment. I look at them. I look out to the audience, and hey, what's up? Just kind of. And try and get my bearings, and then I just sit and try and like see what's behind the masks, like what's up with these performers, who they are, what they're doing.
One of them that's on the side of the formation looks over to you while they're in the middle of the routine and tries to lock eyes through the slits in their mask with you, and they just stare as if they think they're communicating to you, and you're not getting it. And they stare for a moment as continuing to do the routine. They don't step out of line even for a second. They are in truly perfect unison as they move together. But they look back and continue forward, looking out to the crowd, looking out at the two of you. The 6 figures in rather ornate costumes, golden details on them, swinging the golden ribbons around in a way that as they swing upwards, they're making patterns, they're making shapes with these ribbons that are beautiful.
It's a bit of, it's impressive. Kind of a letdown after the coin thing and the near-death experience.
Right, it seems. I just didn't expect ribbon dancing.
Yeah, but
They're very good.
yeah, was that one looking?
I feel like they're looking at us, but that might just be me.
Great, both of you roll sanity. Going all the way around. You're hanging out by the water table, you're fine.
Oh.
Yeah, I succeed. I rolled a 27 under 80.
Okay.
Don't worry, I got you. I got 67 over my 60.
Ooh.
Roll intelligence.
No! That's the good success.
Oh. If you're familiar with how sanity rolls work in Call of Cthulhu, when you're rolling a sanity check, followed by an intelligence check, it's to interpret the thing that you've seen. Succeeding on that intelligence check means you do get to process it
Oops.
what's in front of you. And one of them has locked eyes onto you. It feels like as they move their body in unison with the 5 others, their head is not moving. It's locked on a rotation directly at you. And I'm not talking their eyes are looking at you, their head has tilted and frozen in your direction.
Oh no.
You feel something like someone has fingerprints on your brain, just squishing down in different parts at it. When they do, it pushes things and you see imagery. You see your family. You see your home. And you see their face in your mind. You see them inside your home. This person with their head locked onto you. You're seeing a family gathering that you had most recently, but this figure is there, sitting in a chair, dining with you. You see a birthday party from your childhood, and this figure is there. You're 10? They're comparable in size to you. They are also small, like a child at your birthday party, standing around you, and a cake. And then you're back at the circus, and you lose 2 points of sanity.
Cool. Oh, yeah. Cousin Lenny is going to go. This is all like set up, but what are the chairs that we're sitting in like?
They are like bleachers. So the 2 of you are on a row of a flat bench bleacher with 2 more rows behind you. The people that were sitting directly behind you have moved up, so everyone's kind of crowded onto that back row of the VIP section, and then larger bleachers behind you. It's all one large set of them. There's just ropes around your section to make it special.
Yeah. Lenny slides back off of the bleacher, like is throwing her arms, and she's gonna get up and try to get away.
Miss Riley,
Leave me alone. I'm fine.
Yes, okay.
I'm fine.
Are you telling me the section?
Yes.
The bouncer in yellow, standing at the rope, goes, "Oh, you can't leave during the show,"
Don't tell me.
and clasps it back down. You can't leave during the show. Please, sit down.
I need to use the little girl's room.
They look around and they go, no, I think you should sit down, Cousin Lenny. And they clasp the little click of the rope and they stand facing you, letting go of the rope itself. I think you should sit.
Interesting. What's your name?
The person stares at the stage and doesn't respond to you.
I think at this point, Lenny is like fussing with the like hem of her fur coat, and she accidentally nicks her own finger on one of the blades, and that snaps her out of this moment, and she'll just sort of walk back towards the bleacher, sucking her finger.
Ronald, you've seen all of this. You didn't see the catalyst of it. You are still seeing the performers, and they seem relatively normal to you. I mean, it's hard to look away from them in the sense of a beautiful landscape of nature, something you've never seen before, the way that you're just trying to take in all of the details of it. You are enraptured by the performance, but it seems like just a real great ribbon twirl.
Okay.
But, of course, Lenore has had quite the response to something.
Her shouting at me is immediately like, shut him down. Just went back to watching the show, just kind of like holding his popcorn.
I'll go back and sit down. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
Sorry.
It's fine.
I don't think I like the ribbon twirling very much. Do you have a handkerchief?
Oh, yes. He reaches into his coat and brings out a handkerchief.
Thanks.
Yes, Freddie.
So, I think Freddie, after a moment at the water cooler,
Some of the other acts stand around you. Alligator Boy sits.
and his mind is still a little bit like foggy, but for some reason, I think he would find his way backstage, kind of where the stagehand might be. There's something about what I saw that I think has left a mark, and I kind of want to watch this act. So maybe about halfway through, I've gone off stage and started watching.
Yeah.
And as I kind of get near you, watching you watch them, there's something fascinating about this, isn't there?
They're super weird. Hey, did we change uniforms?
What do you mean?
I look at my red jumpsuit and a bunch of other red jumpsuits, and I'm now looking around for the person that I saw dressed in yellow.
They stand still on the other side of the stage watching the performance. It doesn't seem like they're prepared to do anything. They're just standing enraptured and watching.
Are there other people dressed in yellow?
I'm very sorry, but I don't usually pay attention to the stagehands. I can't tell you all apart. But why am I still doing this accent? My brother really wants us to put on an accent when we're doing the show, and
It does kind of work.
You don't even talk, so why does it matter?
Yeah, I think Mom. I thought you were supposed to talk next
I
time.
think I threw you under the bus earlier. By
You
the
did
way.
throw me under the bus. I
I'm sorry
heard
about
you.
that. The ropes, and I just.
I was holding your rope. Yeah, careful with
Right.
that, buddy. Just say it.
What are they doing?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm gonna look. Can I look around for Margaret? Actually,
You can, but also it's your turn to make a sanity check. And unfortunately,
Again.
do you want to investigate the jumpsuits thing? Are you looking around for other people in
yeah,
like,
because
your red jumpsuits?
it occurs to me that hang on, wait a minute.
Great.
That's not the right
make
clothes.
another sanity
Yeah,
check.
sure.
Freddie, you gotta roll good. You don't want him touching your brain.
I failed once. Before. I'm going to roll again. Did I lose any sanity points from my previous...
You did not.
Oh, good.
Oh my god.
You were just checking where you were at. You don't always have to lose sanity on a failed roll.
That's cool.
Don't gesture at me.
I like
But
these
sometimes
dice.
you do.
Yeah.
I rolled a 4.
I liked it.
Nice. I rolled a 30,
Rolled a
so I'm
4.
still okay.
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 We rolling low, y'all.
I'm really.
I know. This is unusual for me.
Unusual for me to succeed at things.
This is
The
your
trick of this
system.
game is rolling low.
Yeah.
Yes.
The thought enters your mind of, I'm pretty sure that we usually wear red, but looking at the racks around you, they're yellow. There's yellow jumpsuits.
Huh.
It seems like maybe you're the only person in yellow and red. The rest are all yellow. And you're not sure how long it's been like that.
Weird. So many things are changing. No one tells me anything anymore.
Yeah, tell me about it. Like us getting bumped? Yeah.
Yeah, that whole thing changed. I can't believe that the Misfortune Act got pushed so early, too.
They all
You
so
see that?
pushed. I usually don't pay attention to the act that goes on after me. But it was Misfortune?
Yeah.
I immediately leave and go to find Misfortune.
Dang. The disrespect is so important.
I'm gonna drop you.
You know that you're in a red jumpsuit. There is another red jumpsuit laying over a chair, but there's just yellow jumpsuits around. You're not convinced that it's normal, but it's what's happening essentially is where you're at with it. You, on the other hand, looking out while you're still on the side of the stage, once again, one of them turns to try and make eye contact with you, and then kind of turns away from you and continues their act as you make your way to Misfortune. They give you no attention.
Stop in my tracks and stunned, a painful stun, and wither a little bit.
Karma.
I don't know if I even hear that.
What did Penelope? What did Penelope do after the ribbon twirlers were actually on stage performing?
She stood at the side of the stage to watch them, so she walked away from you and up to the side of the curtains where she could peek her head out and watch the performance. She looks out over the crowd, trying to make sure that everybody's having a good time and making sure they're paying attention to the act.
Does does her gaze linger longer on any one section of the crowd more than the other? Does it seem like she, at any point, is locking eyes with someone, maybe?
There's two ways that you can do this. I'm going to say that is probably a psychoanalysis roll. If I'm wrong, don't tell me.
I don't know.
If you would prefer it, you could also roll a spot hidden.
My spot hidden is definitely a safer bet for me.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Roll a spot hidden. What you find is going to be a little bit different, and you can tell me how spot
Okay.
hidden is more of it, where you're looking for something that's hidden as opposed
Yeah.
to, like, you're not observing necessarily, like, her emotions.
Yeah, okay. That's an 18 under 25.
Oh.
The dice love you this evening.
Star of the show.
You see a few things. One that you notice is Penelope, like I described earlier, is watching like a pageant mom. She is all about this act, and she is scanning the crowd, and she does a good few times look out to the VIP section, of course. And she does seem to be staring a little bit at Lenore.
I'm going to look and see, is Patrick still around, or did he head out?
He is still backstage,
Blends into the
but
background.
after you...
Nobody noticed he's still there.
He's been next to you the whole time.
He's out here like, I have a name. I have a stage name and no one will say it.
Patrick's not even my real name.
Patrick is the stage name!
His real name's Jeremy.
Jeremy!
Somebody thought it was clever.
Oh man.
Yeah, after the little tiff that you two got into about the performance and being bumped and everything, he's been just like kind of withdrawn backstage. So he stands in front of the mirror with like his hands kind of like gripped onto it, kind of looking at himself and like checking for crow's feet mostly. He's a vain man.
Margaret's going to have one last look over her shoulder at Penelope, just to make sure she's still there, and is going to go over to Patrick and put a hand on his back and say, I'm sorry.
He jumps a little bit when you put your hand on him, and he turns to you and goes, it's not your fault. It's been very stressful leading up to opening night.
We've just worked so hard to get where we are, and I just don't want us to have done this for this long, to be back at the start.
Margaret, and he looks around, also checking for anyone in the distance, and assesses that you have privacy here in this little curtained off area, and leans closer to you, putting a hand on your cheek. And he says, I don't know. Look, I know that Penelope told me. I guess I'm worried, because I don't particularly remember the conversation. I don't remember when she told me. I know that she did, and I'm being forgetful, and I was very embarrassed. I apologize, Margaret.
Are you feeling all right?
Might be coming down with a cold or something. My head's just a little foggy.
Why don't you go lay down, darling? Get some rest.
I was hoping to catch the act. Would you want to... I think Penelope would be okay if we went and sat and kind of schmoozed with the VIPs a little.
Sure. And she's gonna kind of like straighten herself up a little bit, and
he offers an arm out to you, actually, to be proper. And you do see off the side of the stage, Misfortune and Patrick.
Patrick.
As the bouncer quickly opens the little rope for them and lets them into the area. You can also see off the side of the stage that they're heading into the VIP section.
I must speak to Miss Fortune, so I'm going to try to find my way near her, to be near her.
You make your way towards the VIP section as well. And you're standing on the side of the stage still?
Yeah, I'm waiting for whatever I'm supposed to catch, I guess. Thoroughly confused about what the heck is going on.
I know.
You get
That's
your
my favorite. I hope you live.
get to the rope on the side of the VIP section as the guy seems to kind of like hesitate to let you into it.
I work here. You probably don't recognize me, but maybe if I present to you, I take out my mask that I was wearing and put it on.
Did you just tell him? Did you say he doesn't recognize you without your accent?
Yes, exactly.
The accent that he doesn't use on stage.
Yes.
We don't talk.
When you start the accent, he goes, okay.
There it is.
That's not what was going to happen, but that's funnier. And he hooks it back in behind you as you hear another crack of thunder. The lightning almost feels like a little bit of light peeked through a section of it, but you don't hear rain anymore. And there wasn't much of a light coming in like earlier, but you hear the rumble of a long thunder.
Close.
Mississippi.
How
too.
close?
Yeah!
is it?
Yeah, you know what's up.
Very close.
How many seconds after?
3,
Oh, that's not that close. That's like 3 miles away.
2,
There you go.
1.
Oh no! It's very close! I don't know how thunder works! You can count seconds after and the difference
roughly for
between
the miles
Miles in.
Yeah.
sound and the
It's
light.
immediate!
Sorry. I'm not trying to bug you.
Thunder comes
kidding, I
first.
love you.
Then the
Yeah.
flash.
It's inside me.
It sounds like the storm is very close.
I don't like it.
I've never been really a fan of thunder myself.
Oh, yes, the thunder too. I just do that at the security guard. The bouncer.
Unflinching.
Kill that man.
Okay.
Keep your seats. As
I plop right down right next to Margaret, and I sit down and I take off my mask so that you can recognize me.
Miss Fortune, as you know her, Patrick, and Freddie, as you would know him by the accent,
sure.
sit down. That middle row that was between you and the other VIP guests, you can make your way into.
Wow, delightful surprise. Oh, sorry. Did you come here for a private conversation?
Patrick turns all of his attention to
We'll
you, though.
sign autographs in just a second. Thank you. So, Margaret, I can't believe that they.
And Margaret, as he starts to talk, kind of does this when he says that.
So they bumped you. I heard that they bumped you too.
Patrick slaps a hand down on the bench and goes, Freddie, I'm so glad that you could make it to visit our VIP guests this evening. What a wonderful meet and greet experience. I'm so glad that we can offer. Hello, Lenore, right?
Riley. Miss Riley.
Miss Riley, it is a pleasure to meet you. And he takes your hand with a polite shake.
So
and
nice to meet you, Patrick.
And he looks at you and goes,
Hi.
and you are?
Sorry. Popcorn stuck in my teeth. I am.
Yeah.
Sorry. I met you down there on the thing. I'm Ronald Peterson. It's good to meet you.
Oh yeah, you came up and did
The coin thing.
the coin.
Yeah.
I didn't catch your name at the time. And like you can tell he's like going over a list in his head and is just like,
I was invited here by her. I'm
of course, an esteemed guest of Miss Riley.
Yes.
Yes, but I just one slight correction. I'm not Freddie. I'm actually Bobby. So I know that we're identical twins, and you mix us up. But I'm so sorry for the my apologies. But
It's fine. It's no problem.
yeah. So Freddie, my brother, is actually
You have no idea who I am, do you?
No. Everyone here knows who you are.
It was very interesting that you came in here with that disrespect.
Bobby,
Bobby.
which is my name, Bobby, not Freddie, is very
Bobby.
apologetic.
Did you just refer to yourself in the third person?
Bobby,
not Freddie.
The circus does very strange things to us, especially after we've been bumped. But you're right. I didn't mean to disrespect at all. My brother, Freddie, is a huge fan of yours, as you are a huge fan of the I should stop talking. So
I find that also a better option.
I'm going to try to leave the VIP section. So we'll catch up more another time.
Oh, you should
Freddie
stay.
sends his regards.
Talk.
The bouncer stands behind you and goes, "You should stay. Talk."
Apparently they want us to stay and watch.
I'm going to go grab my brother. If I can leave, I'm going to grab my brother and have my brother come back with me.
Not while the act is up. After.
After
Do
the
you know
act.
who this is?
I don't really pay attention to the stage hands. They all look the
I love that
same.
he set that up.
To me, my brother would know who he is. He's very good at paying attention to the people that help us. The show does not
recognize
happen
him?
without them.
Do I recognize the security guard?
You do not.
That is definitely unusual for Margaret.
Absolutely. You have never seen this man before in your life. Patrick is trying to calm everybody down a little bit as tension starts to rise and sees your concern.
What did you say your name was?
To the security guard. He goes, "I didn't."
And what would you say it is if I asked you now?
Tim.
Tim.
Everyone has very definite names.
Like my husband, Patrick.
I will be honest, as a security, people don't generally refer to me as Mr. anything, so yeah, just Tim.
Well, there's a first time for everything, just Tim.
Oh, Tim, they're going to refer to you as John Doe when I'm done with you.
Eloy.
Tim.
What was that?
Eloy. Eloy.
Aloy?
Malloy.
Oh, no.
No, Em.
Oh, so
Eloy.
there's an issue about me being here for the entirety of this act because I'm actually in the next act, and I have to go.
He looks at the pamphlet that was set down next to you.
Wait, does he come over and try to... Oh, he just like...
It's like a pretty small section,
Yeah.
so he just kind of looks over at it, which is it's got the
program?
entire show on
Yeah.
it, the program.
Oh, the moment he looks over, I will like move my knees so it's over top and cross my legs. I'm doing anything I can to make his day just a little bit harder. I'm a married woman, Tim. What you looking at?
Tim goes, the program you've decided to cover, and he leans back to the other VIPs behind you and puts a hand out for their program, and she hands one to him. She's afraid of everything now. She's like, sure, yeah, no, whatever. It's getting weird back here.
20 luck well spent.
And he takes a look at the program, and he does so like keeping it close to himself and goes, I don't see you in this act.
They've been switching things around backstage. It's the weather, I think, has been making things move. I don't know if you noticed, but our act was cut a little bit short because of the weather.
Because you messed up. Ooh.
Oh, no. That was... Wait. Yes, I messed up. Right. My brother Freddie did not mess up. Bobby messed up, yes. My brother... me. Bobby messed up.
Yeah. No, I saw.
I know.
Why don't you wait this act out?
Okay.
The rumble of thunder vibrates under your feet in the bleachers once again as another loud thwack sound hits and reverberates off of the material of the tent. Everyone in the crowd suddenly kind of tenses up a little bit. But the act just keeps going without missing a beat. They didn't jump, they didn't flinch, they didn't fall even a second out of step. They move as one singular unit.
Oh, God.
No, wait a second. Wait, you're Bobby?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Sorry, that's my fault. I was confused. I have
And I
just
extend a
smack
hand
that microphone on my chest.
to shake yours.
Hello, Ronald Peterson. Nice to meet you, Bobby.
Well, you know, Bobby Twisted is what they call me.
Oh, Bobby Twisted.
Why do they call you Bobby Twisted?
And then I'd immediately pretzel my legs behind my head.
Shit, that's why. Okay.
It's very direct.
I'm a married woman.
So yeah, and then I'll just like continue conversation from that position.
Oh, God.
That's incredible.
Well, okay. What's up with this ribbon twirling act?
Patrick is just like,
And then I'll lean as a pretzel. At this point, I'm like behind
I will lean.
everyone, so I'm gonna lean as a pretzel forward. To say to Margaret, I can't believe that. So they bumped you too. I mean, but if they bumped you, why'd they bump me? Like, I don't understand why they gotta bump us both.
And Margaret's just gonna look at Patrick like,
I don't stop talking.
okay, yeah, Bobby, yes, of course. Those seem like backstage matters, and as much as it's fun to give people a peek behind the curtain,
I
we
don't
don't want to
care.
give away
enjoying
too much.
You were great, though.
No, they really like to hear all the backstage
you.
drama.
That was
Yeah.
very impressive.
well, thank you both very much. I have to give credit to my wonderful husband. Truly is our bond that makes it possible.
Well, you don't stay married as long as we've been without almost a telepathic speech of sorts. We just understand each other.
How long have you been together?
Like 200 years.
7 years.
Oh,
Thank you, Bobby.
You look really good for your age.
25.
So here's what's gonna happen.
wait, so
Bobby,
25. You were married when you
you've been kind of disrespectful. And the first one was free.
Oh, this is just our backstage kind of.
We're not backstage right now. Here's the thing. I know a lot about family. And I know the most important thing about family is a unified front. So I need you to apologize here to her. And then know that if we have another problem, we're going to have a problem. And you're not going to be able to twist your way out of it. Do you understand?
You notice him as a pretzel.
You are you still pretzel
I'm
standing
still-
up?
No. He's tensing up, so
Tensing
the pretzel
up.
tightens a little bit, and then the one leg at a time kind of unfurls. Plop, plop, plop.
You are making a scene.
Can I see this?
You absolutely see this 1,000%,
pretzel
looking
tightens.
off. You're looking through
Right.
the
We're saying the
act
plot
right to the
thickens.
VIP
We're saying the
section.
Pretzel Titans. Yes.
And you see the commotion. That's very interesting. As you do, Patrick looks back to the performers on the stage, to the ribbon twirlers, and kind of stops, because he was really trying. He was, listen, no, it's really quite all right. And then he takes a look at this stage, and he kind of stops for a second. And he looks towards the unit of performers as one of their ribbons lashes out off the side of the stage into the front row VIP section, and it's going to lash at you.
Yes,
Just a stray ribbon.
it's earned.
It could happen to anyone, to the best of performers. So you can try to roll a dodge if you'd like, but it does seem like you might be a little incapacitated by that pretzel.
I'm in the pretzel.
Think
I'm
that's fair?
intimidated,
And pretzel-tated.
and I'm still like,
pretzel.
there's so much in the way. I'm not myself, but also very myself in a way.
I wish I could draw.
You're Bobby.
You're Bobby.
I'm Bobby, yeah.
It's so good. I can't. God,
You are going to take 2 points of damage as the ribbon glides across.
Wow.
We don't have very many
Legs.
We don't.
Hold on. Picturing the pretzel.
Yeah.
It just slashes across your arm. And when a ribbon, you would think it would feel like more like getting slapped with a towel.
Yeah.
Instead, it slices. And you start bleeding a little bit on your arm. It's not a gaping
my
wound,
God.
but it does feel like a razor blade sliding through, just grazing your arm.
What?
And that's what you see.
snaps me
Am I
back.
supposed to catch that?
Oh, so 2 points, yes?
Yes, 2 points of damage.
Okay, so that absolutely snaps me back. All the ego and the pride melts away. If there's anything that remains is being successfully intimidated, and sort of snaps back into focus and immediately. If there's any pretzel left to the pretzel is now undone, and lets go of his obsession with misfortune and looks at the stage, at the person that just ribboned him.
As you see the ribbon lash out and hit Bobby? Question mark?
I can tell them apart.
Freddie.
I have to because I
Just gotta.
I support your vote.
Yeah.
Something has clearly gone wrong if they've attacked someone in the audience. That could have been anyone, of course. Fortunately, it was just one of the performers. But you do see him de-pretzeling and bleeding.
Okay.
Would you like to make your way there?
Yeah, I think I'll like kind of like do a thing of like quick check at the performers. No one's gonna throw anything at me, and I also kind of don't want to catch that if that's what they're throwing. And make my way as like I can. Like as a stagehand, I think I've got a pretty good practice of being like pretty like quick and swift and quiet and like able to be out of the way. I look like I belong like towards the edge.
As you push through the crowd, making room for yourself is a very comfortable task for you. All of them sit, arms down by their sides, staring at the stage. When you say, "Excuse me," no one moves. If you touch on their shoulder and push them over, they allow it and refixate back towards the stage. Children, families, everyone completely entranced, staring at the performers on stage. That's been going on for a while now.
Yeah.
But everyone is completely fixated on the ribbon twirling in front of them as you make your way to the VIP section.
On my way, I like put write like a cup that was clearly full of like cider or juice or something like that was like literally spilling into the lap of an audience member and just okay. Hi, sorry. You're
More people.
apologies for interrupting. Freddie, did you get hurt? Come on, we
It's, I'm sorry. It's yeah, I did.
The bouncer lets you into the section. You're always running about and very much just kind of opens it and shuts it down behind you as another rumble of thunder and another smack against the tent happens. It sounds like it's raining again.
Can I look up and try and see what's hitting the tent? Because that's the
Roll
second
spot
time.
hidden for me.
Ronald is going to grab back the handkerchief he gave you earlier. He goes,
No.
Here, let me see your arm. I can bandage that for you.
He's sort of stunned. Just kind of leans in towards you.
I want to make a first aid check.
Yeah, roll it.
Oh wait, I rolled 2 10s. That's confusing. I'm not gonna do that.
I succeed. 37 under 50.
All right.
I rolled
and
the
do you
exact
have
same thing I
Any
thought I
like
rolled.
particular? It's just a handkerchief, right?
I'm just
now
using a
stop
handkerchief to
the
kind of like
bleeding?
make a bandage, essentially.
Okay.
If you're doing that, I'll hand you my flask. Be like, you should
Okay,
clean
yeah,
the wounds.
yeah, thank you. And I'll
Yeah.
just pour a little bit on there, on the bandage and like press it in, let it soak, and then
Don't
That's
forget
the
about
whiskey.
that. That's gonna. Okay.
I taste it.
I hand you the flask.
You don't have to do that.
How did you do on your spot hidden?
Bad.
Bad.
A 60, and I have a 45.
Okay, it could be way worse. That's not
Yeah,
bad.
luck points.
That's not that bad.
Not enough.
Joy.
You don't know what's hitting the side of the tent, of course, but you do hear the rain once again. Is anyone else investigating what's going on sound-wise? Please feel free to. Anyone who would like to roll a spot?
Oh,
hidden, roll a
sweet.
spot.
Yes.
hidden.
Yeah.
If you would like to, just looking around at the sound and figuring out, you know.
All right.
What is that?
A 5.
Oh, let's go. Got 45 over 40.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a 90.
You've never seen anything before in your whole life.
I am a newborn baby.
Oh, you a baby.
A wee babe
Why did you
looking
put
out
the
at the world for the
blindfold
first
back
time.
on?
Let's investigate. My mind.
But you, Ronald,
Yeah.
you know exactly where the location came from. And you also notice that the rain is coming from a specific location. It sounds like it's only raining on a small section of the tent. It sounds like it is a torrential downpour on 10 feet of the tent near the right of the entrance.
That's weird.
And you know that the slap came from that sound. Came from the area around it, and you can see the whole tent is covered in a little bit of darkness. You think it might be getting into the evening time. Who knows how long this act has been going on. But you see a shape a little bit. The white of the tent usually allows for a little bit of light and a little bit to show through, silhouetted on the other side of it. And the only area that a little bit of that is shining through is the same area the rain is coming from. And you see a shape dangling down the side of the tent. It seems to be smooth at the edges, but hits strange angles and comes to a point at the end of it at the bottom of the tent. And that is where we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Stick around. We're doing giveaways, by the way. They've been running some in the chat. I believe we'll be running some on the break right here. If you're not in the Discord already, the Discord has a much smaller pool of people, so we're doing giveaways there as well. You have a better chance of winning, and plus, you might see yourself in the story.
Ooh.
So check it out. Once again, thank you to Chaosium. We'll talk more about it, but there's a coupon code in the chat that you can check out while we're on break. See you in a sec.
Coupons.
Coupon.
Hello and welcome back. I don't think that was successfully before the mics went
Oh,
live.
sorry. One more time. The pretzel titans.
The Pretzel Titans as we come back in to our Call of Cthulhu one-shot. If you've just joined us, we have people participating in the Discord. You can go and check it out. Thank you for being here. And where we last left off, each of you had made your way somehow into the VIP section.
I don't know how I got here.
I want to leave.
And Ronald, you noticed something strange. You can just make out a shape, a silhouette of a curvy, unidentifiable, kind of hard to catch the angles of shadow down the side of a tent that comes to a little point on the end and is has almost like a glow around it. Not as in the object is glowing, but it's an area that is currently allowing light in.
Right.
So surrounding the silhouette peeks in a little light through the white stripes of the tent.
That's strange. Look, if it were raining, you would hear it all over the tent. You'd hear an omnipresent sound of rain, but the rain is directional. It's coming from just there, and I can't. I don't know. I'm making sense. I can't tell what that shape is. And that seems to be where the sound of the banging is coming from.
Oh, something maybe is leaking, or that could come down on the tent. We should. Do you mind actually giving? Oh, I can't believe I'm asking you for something, but you need to go get that looked at. Thank you so much for helping one of our performers. That's so kind and generous of you. Again, I apologize for the interruption. Please enjoy the show.
Oh no, let's all go check on this together.
Oh, that's not absolutely not
would
necessary.
love
You
to.
I can't tell you you can't do something. So I'm gonna.
Incredible, you were the first one here that would make that true.
Mr. Eloy, while we appreciate your desire to respect the that ongoing act, I do think extenuating circumstances, we need
We've got an injured performer and a damaged tent. You need to move aside. Thanks.
I've got direct orders from above you to keep everyone in their places during the act.
I'm gonna push past this guy because it's like that's such weird behavior. There's no reason for me to be included in this weird authority. Like, I'm not supposed to be in the audience at all.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Roll your strength. Try and push past him.
Sure. Let me just
Do it.
Yeah.
Just do
Roll a 1.
Yes.
Okay. What if it was a 93?
Not only are you not able to push past this bouncer, he puts a hand on your shoulder and sits you back down.
Oh. Look, I don't think there's any need for that.
As he sits you back down, he looks into your eyes, locking eye contact with you, and you see the areas of his eyes that should be white are foggy. They're off-colored a little bit. There's a blur over the pupils of his eyes with just like a hint shade of, like there's just a bit of yellowing to the whites of his eyes, but all the way across them as he looks you in the eyes and goes, sit.
I always tell Miss Pixel we can't hire locals. They're always on something.
Before he lets your whatever he was holding go, I would love to flick out with one of my razors and just try to catch him across a very important vessel in his wrist. I'm very tired of his energy, and now he's putting hands on people.
Yeah, go for it.
Cool, I didn't give myself a fighting ability for this, so that's on your girl.
What weapon abilities do you have?
Rifle!
You only have that. Do you have sleight of hand?
Oh, I do.
This could be sleight of
Nice.
hand.
Oh, thank
I think that's a reasonable way to lash out at him. Yeah, for now.
For now.
All right, there we go. 21 under 70. So we're
Nice.
looking at the middle good one.
Are you trying to kill this man?
Yeah.
You slice across incredibly precisely and quickly enough that like no one really saw it coming. It all happens very quickly as a spray of blood, letting you know that you have hit an incredibly important artery, sprays out across the entire front row of the circus. You're hitting probably 10 people in the audience with it, outside of the VIP section, and not one of them moves. It sprays across the
horrifying.
side of their faces as they continue staring forward.
My eyes have been on the performance.
Oh, they have?
The taking. Well, yes, because
Incredible news! Roll your sanity.
Okay.
Buddy!
And I'm good. I'm still sane.
Okay.
What did you roll?
A 40
Over?
over 60.
That's very interesting. This was not that easy.
Okay. Never mind. Might not be staying.
You've been, as you described,
Yeah.
staring at the performance for all
Yes.
this time?
Well, yes, because what I was looking for, which to my detriment clearly, was what I know in a performance in a group ensemble, that there's always a leader, that there's
Yeah.
always one person that everyone is. I'm looking to see if there's any missteps. I'm looking to see if there's any little nuance that gives away who is in charge among them, or if it's not among them, where it is off the stage.
I love this. So we're going to do a little collection of rolls here. You would have needed, I'm going to say, an extreme success to not be impacted by staring in this much detail
Yes.
at them.
I'm in it. I'm into it.
Roll your spot hidden for me, and then roll your intelligence.
Okay. So my spot hidden is a failure. And my intelligence
Ooh, buddy.
is a great roll.
Oh no.
Yep.
Oh no.
I rolled a 6 in my intelligence. 6 out of 50.
Maybe no.
So
So you know
Bobby, no, Freddie, no.
exactly
Know everything.
what you're looking at.
yeah.
As you scan the faces, looking for something out of place, what you do know is there is absolutely not somebody pushing forward. It's almost hard to tell when they change between transitions if one person is even staying in their position. They move as a perfect unit, and all 6 of them are staring directly at you.
Oh no.
All of them have locked onto you in the same position as earlier, their heads staying in place as their bodies continue to move. The ribbon swirls around in front of you, and you can't help but catch your eyes with this ribbon.
So I'm kind of entranced in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think this is what I do. With the commotion that's going on over here and the slicing, and I'm probably one of the people that got sprayed with blood and didn't really even notice.
Absolutely.
And that all starts to kind of fade into the background as I become transfixed on these 6. Are they identical to each other?
Yes. You're familiar with the concept, and it makes you and your brother look like unrelated people.
They have something we don't have,
They do.
and I want it. So I start to crawl over towards them. Like going over, even if there's people in front of me, I'm starting to crawl over them.
As
one
you
row at a time.
start to crawl towards the stage, the people that you're touching to move through them start to change. They all look like the performers. The entire crowd is filled with masked figures in little yellow jumpsuits with a prim and proper collar expanding around them, holding ribbons, staring out onto the stage. The 6 on the stage is 12, it's 15, it's 30, it's 6, it's 4, it's 6. It has to be 6, but there might be more, and they're everywhere, and everyone you touch is yellow. And everything that you see is yellow, and we are going to roll to see how much sanity you lose. That's 6. You lose 6 points of sanity. Now, Freddie, in this game, if you take more than 5 points to your sanity at one time, you are temporarily mad. So, this action rolls into what you were doing, moving towards the stage. You are no longer aware of your surroundings. Everyone else has melted away. The people in the VIP section, your brother is not a thought in your head. There is only these people in front of you that have everything, that took everything from you. What is it they did? Did they bump your show, or did they steal it? Did you get fired?
They're doing more.
Cut completely?
This is now totally about me and personal. Like, they are doing this thing to me. They're performing at me, humiliating me, showing me everything I never was and everything I could never be. And as much as I loathe it and hate it, I also desire it and am envious. And I've never felt like I wanted to. It's like what I feel towards my brother, but tenfold. I want to throttle him sometimes, but then I want to be more like him. And I just want to crawl into those people.
You want to become one of the 6? You want to be as in unison as they are? Interesting. You do. You start pushing over people, and in the same way that these people were so unaffected by the blood that splattered across their faces, he has no seem to care for the fact that he is putting hands on people's faces and pushing and climbing over them. Their bodies crumple a little bit under his weight and pop back up as he moves past them. All of you can see this happening.
Bobby Freddy, what are you doing?
I absolutely am trying to. Am I still being? Oh no, I'm not. You killed this man.
That man has fallen to the ground, bleeding out and choking.
I'm
Ronald is
just gonna ignore.
losing his mind, being like, "Ah!" And he runs over to try and like stop the bleeding on the man.
I just want to put him.
Yeah, I ignore the bleeding man and immediately try and restrain Freddy. What I'm going to try and do is cover his eyes. If I can get to him and cover his eyes.
Okay. You rush to the man who is bleeding, who is crumpled onto the ground, first to his knees and straight over onto his side, kind of laying sideways across the bleachers. Where did you cut?
I wanted to catch him right across, down the lane, not across the street.
He bleeds from his arm profusely and quickly. As you get down to him,
Why did you do that?
Because he called me Cousin Lenny.
That's not.
you also didn't hear him call her that.
That's even if he did call you that is not an appropriate reaction to someone calling you a name.
He puts a hand on your shoulder, gripping onto it, and coughs blood up onto your
It's gonna be okay.
shirt.
It's gonna be okay. And he takes his vest. He starts undoing his vest, and he starts trying to like press the wound and apply first aid to a thing he knows he can't fix.
Yeah,
but,
please roll it anyways to see how you do.
Failure. 75 over 50.
You wrap your coat, your vest around his wrist and apply the pressure, but you can just feel it soaking all the way through. Your hands are covered in blood. You've probably never seen this much blood before in your life. It's too late. It happened too quickly, and it's soaking through onto your pants.
You're not gonna get that stain out. Don't worry.
I don't care about the state. What is wrong with you?
Did you just yell at me?
Yes, I did. You just murdered someone in front of everyone here.
It seems like you're the only person that cares.
And when she says that, I start looking around and seeing everything.
I would care. I have priorities. Sorry.
We have a bigger deal than that man who was keeping us trapped in here.
Dexterity check.
Oh, good. I'm good. Roll again. That's a thing that's good for me.
You're gonna do great.
Hey, you're great at rolling low. Never forget.
It's extra ominous because she's very clever.
Nope. She's
Got
rolling
it real
reverses during
nice
this
and
game.
high right now.
But
What is it?
okay, so it's an 83 over 80.
Ooh.
Oh, come on.
You do
I-
have high. You have high dexterity. Would you like to use your luck?
I would love to use my luck. Do I need to just hit? Is it it's 80 or below, right? Or
is.
it okay? So I would like to burn 3 luck points. So now I have 27.
Start a little low. Interesting, didn't you?
Yeah, because you have to. Funny. You have to roll for luck.
You do.
Yeah.
So, since you're coming in just at your number, it's just going to be like a difficult success. So
think I'm, like, gonna
you
just, like-
also have to kind of climb over these people transfixed on the stage to get to him. And as you do hear like a crack. You know that you're strong, much like your mother. As you hear a crack of their ribs on the side as you push past them to dive onto Freddy and cover his eyes.
Sorry.
That's
person
kind of
doesn't
set
respond.
badly.
That might not matter.
No, you're right. What you doing?
I tried to see if covering eyes works.
Yeah, why is he crawling on people?
He was watching the show. Maybe nobody watches the show. Also, thank you for.
Are you on his back having this conversation?
Yeah, I'm literally.
He's still trying to push
I
forward.
think I'm like, because
What are you
he's
talking
real
about?
bendy, but I feel like I've like got him. I'm gonna like try and basically just like with my body weight, just like
He's
hold him
lean.
down
Yeah.
and.
Is there a sound that the performers are making, or are they completely silent? Or do I hear anything like a humming? Or
the band
anything?
still plays.
Band.
The band plays a soft melodic song, and you
I'm gonna hum
Love
onto
it.
that.
you love it,
And
yeah.
all you hear is me softly humming. If you're close enough, you just hear me softly humming along.
Freddie.
The
hey,
rest of
Freddie.
you know that the same song has been playing the entire time.
Yeah, I'm getting the fuck out of here. Look, you can be as mad at me as you want. I don't care.
Patrick is still
This is about
fixated on the
you.
stage.
What?
Margaret is just like inconsolably sobbing and shaking Patrick.
He stays still just like the crowd. He sits facing forward, arms at his side, and you can see his eyes start to yellow a little bit as he stares at the ribbons.
And I'll like be like kind of like looking over my shoulder, like I'm like trying to do a couple of things at once, like always, and be like blindfold, cover their eyes, ears, something. I don't know.
And Margaret's gonna, like, still crying, not saying anything, just wrap the blindfold around Patrick.
I try and like cover ears too, or
As
something. Like
you're able to get over and just like physically cover his eyes, and it does like she's able to hold you in place essentially, and the covering of your eyes breaks a little bit of that connection. And you do start to feel the music still carries you a little bit. The music is still very enticing, but you do become aware of your surroundings once again. You feel that Selena is on your back and covering your eyes, and you hear the like inconsolable cries of misfortune. Margaret in the stadium, kind of like almost echoing throughout as it's the only sound playing with this like soft melodic tone. The entire rest of the crowd is silent. A man coughs a last bit of blood as he dies in your arms, Ronald.
I then, so my eyes are covered, but I'm still hearing the melody, and I'll reach my hands around the arms, start touching. Who is this?
it's me. We're both covered in blood. I need you to get get it together.
Get me out of here, and I just kind of like my hands wrap around your hands wherever they are around me. I don't know what's going on. Just don't look at the stage. Just,
Yeah, no kidding. Cover your ears too, I guess. I mean, watch. Okay, I'm just gonna try and like lift him a little bit.
Who is this again?
Seriously?
You've climbed down a few rows of people. By the time you were able to catch him, he had gotten some distance because your roll was just on the number.
Lucky, I guess.
So you are at past the front row of seats in the little area between the front row of seats and the stage, as another ribbon, not one of many ribbons, starts lashing out. One is coming right towards you.
Cool.
I'll say you're aware enough of what's happening right now to try to dodge.
Sure.
I emphasize try.
Oh,
I think this guy goes in timeout for a second, and we do a different one.
yeah, do a different one.
And your dodge is just half of your dex score.
Yeah, because I didn't pick it. Okay, so I got a 69 over 50.
Nice.
Okay.
We have fun.
Over what?
Over 50.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Not that one.
Would I be able to, at the very least, turn so that it hits me and not him?
Absolutely.
Ooh.
That's 4 points of damage.
Oh!
Those ribbons hurt.
How much HP do you have overall?
Overall, 11.
Ah, great. This lashes out towards you, and you heroically cover Bobby/Freddy with your body. And it slashes
His name's
across
Freddy.
your back. And you feel the blood start to soak into the back of your clothing.
Oh, okay, I'm covered in more blood now. We have to go.
Shit, what are you doing? Get away from there. Just come back here.
I will follow where
I'm
you
gonna
lead.
I'm basically just like frog marching him across
Gotta do it. I try to leave.
The bouncer is not looking at you anymore. The bouncer has just stared forward towards the stage.
I thought he
Wait,
was
the dead one?
Oh, I'm sorry. The bouncer is dead. The bouncer is the dead guy. Never mind. He does face
like,
towards the stage.
This got so
sorry.
scary.
I'm so sorry. You killed the bouncer.
It's all good.
The man. Yeah, the bouncer does, however, after having like coughed out the last bit of blood, laying across, you'll have to like climb over the body essentially with his head turned towards the stage, his eyes still open, staring towards the act.
Yeah, definitely after seeing 2 different attacks with the ribbon, I'm going to like crawl back and slink away, trying to keep as many other people between me and the stage as possible, and try to like back my way towards the door, the tent flap,
Yeah,
to leave.
absolutely.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm a coward and a criminal.
No, this is
I leave
good.
the scary place.
All of you, of course, can see this happening, unless you're going to try to stealth out of the 5 people.
I'm trying to stealth, not to like hide from this group, but from the people on the stage who are very scary.
Roll stealth.
It's gonna be fine. I don't think I have.
Ronald gets up and tries to assist in pulling them back into the booth away from the stage to try and help get them in here. 2 of them.
Yeah, you're absolutely able to do that. Again, the people are not responsive or preventing you, so you'll just have to climb back over the people because you're not at an aisle at this point, but you can step back through
Look,
and up.
We should just leave. We should get out of here. This is not. We have to call the police. She's murdered someone. We have to get.
Oh, that's not necessary.
What do you mean that's not necessary?
It's not necessary. Is Patrick responsive at all?
And she's still shaking Patrick and just saying, "We have to go. Patrick, get up." And she's trying to like get him to move with her hands on either side of his arms.
And you put the blindfold on him? As you place your hands on him with the blindfold on, it seemed like it hadn't quite done anything. He was still holding very still with the blindfold on. As your hands place down around his arms, you feel him kind of loosen the pretzel a little. He slumps forward a little bit, and he turns with the blindfold still on and places both of his hands on you as well. And you can feel, because although you are a scam artist, you do have a strong bond with Patrick, and you feel what you've always described on stage. You feel like you have mentally linked with him as he puts his arms on you, and you feel very compelled to look towards the stage. You don't have to do it, but you feel as if you are fighting off like an impulsive urge. As he like kind of shaking touches your arms, turning away from the stage finally, he lifts up a piece of it. His eyes still a little cloudy but starting to clear. He looks at you with tears in his eyes.
Keep it on. And she's gonna pull the blindfold down and kind of tighten her grip on him and start to walk to guide him. And she's going to start saying some of their code phrases. So as she takes the first step back, she's, "Stay with me, Patrick. Darling, would you be so kind as to regale the audience with your abilities and tell us what's what was in their pocket?"
Starting to kind of make his way up as you are pushing through the crowd. How did you end up doing on that stealth?
63 over 20.
Oh.
Okay, you can still move. That doesn't prevent your movement. It is just a matter of you can still stay close to the higher end of it, but everyone is very aware that you are moving, and that's all. So you're trying to follow, I'm assuming, her path, essentially?
I think Margaret's not even thinking that far ahead. I think she's just testing, literally putting like one foot, not in front of another, but behind another, just seeing if she can get him focused enough on talking to her that she can get him moving to see if he'll even walk away from the show.
In response to your line from the act, he starts and he goes, "Well, I regale the audience with the stories of the ribbons, of the masks, of the pockets have ribbons, and they are here, and my wife will show the masks. My wife will show my wife will show you the ribbons. My wife. And he stumbles down next to you and he pulls the mask off and he holds it out to you. He goes, my wife And that's all he's saying over and over again. You can even feel him like spitting a little bit towards you as he's trying to get the words out to you. And that's all he can say as he pushes the mask back towards you, the blindfold. The mask, my wife. The mask, my wife. And he tries to sit back into the position he was in.
Margaret's going to reach for his hand and say, silver pocket watch. When you say that, it's a silver pocket watch, Patrick.
My mask. The wife. The wife for my the mask for my wife. And he turns back towards the stage.
Maggie, we gotta go.
No.
No, I understand that.
No, you do not.
I got him, okay? You get him, I got him. And I will try and literally throw Patrick over my shoulder like a sandbag.
I'll get him. And you see, Ronald stands up and you see actually how big he is. He's gigantic. He's a huge human being, and he walks over and he goes to grab Patrick and lift him out of the chair and take him with us.
Between the two of us.
Yeah. I'm going to make a strength check to lift Patrick out of the seat.
Do it. What is Patrick's build like? Is he tall? Is he muscular?
Patrick?
Is he a short king?
Short king.
Yeah, Patrick's one of those people where his presence feels larger than his actual stature.
Okay.
So if you were to see him on stage, you would kind of be like, he seems like he might be like six foot probably if I'm sitting in the back row. And then when you meet him, he's actually closer to like 5'7", but he just carries himself with an aura that feels bigger than he is. But he's actually quite slender.
So that should be reasonable for you to do.
I rolled a 48 under 65.
Let's
Then
go.
you do. You pick him up, and his body doesn't resist at all. But as you move him, his head still stays fixated on the stage. So regardless of how you turn his body, his head will turn to follow the look of the stage. You're making your way out. These people are not, you've not stopped for anybody.
With them, and I don't care.
Okay. At this point, it's not a massive tent. You are coming up on the flap of the tent. And the ribbons are still slashing out everywhere. You did not successfully sneak, unfortunately. Roll a dodge for me.
Okay.
Because you're aware that it's happening. You've expressed that you're very aware that it's happening. So I want you to have the opportunity to be careful.
35. And my dodge is 35.
Wow.
A yellow ribbon slashes out towards you and sweeps up the crowd in front of you, slashing through shoulders, up directed at you as one of them stares in your direction and just misses as it retreats back in toward the stage and continues to strike out wildly. You get to the flap. Once you're towards the door of the tent, you hear the rain pouring. It is directly above you. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna go out the door.
Yeah?
I think her whole instinct, she remembers everything Ronald said about the rain being localized in one place. If that's true, then she'll move through it quickly. If it's false, that's enough cover to like run.
Oof. Yeah. Right now there's nothing slicing towards you, so you should be able to run. What do you want to know if it's false?
I think it's less about wondering if anything's false. The thing in it, like there's there's a paradigm that needs to be cleared up as she tries to move through the tent, which is if the rain was localized the way Ronald said when he noticed the strangeness, then she'll move through it quickly because it's just in one spot, and then she'll haul ass and run away. If the rain is what it sounds like and everywhere, that's even better because it's like cover for her to get out and get to safety. So she doesn't care which one it is. She's just trying to go.
Okay. You hear the rain and it's hitting the tent. You're still covered in the tent. It's just one spot on the tent that is being hit by rain. And it is just to the side of the entrance. It isn't the entrance itself, but as you've gotten to it, it's cacophonous. It's a storm out there. You're opening the tent. Fantastic. You see rain. You see torrential downpour. The streets even lightly flooding a little bit. You can see a good 2 inches of rain fully across the ground. When you open the tent, it starts to leak into the tent. And then...
I don't like that.
No.
I like it.
Yeah.
Before you have a chance to run out of the tent, you peek out of it with just your head, and a large black mass comes swinging down from over the tent and strikes. It's as large as you are, and it strikes directly towards you. You will not have a chance to dodge it as you were looking out at the rain.
Oh man, just run into it.
Ooh. Oof. Hey, someone had to find out what the hell that was.
That is true.
Okay.
The pretzel tightens. The pretzel in this instance is my butthole. What's happening to me?
Oh god.
You take 4 points of damage as a slimy black tentacle smacks into you, and it hits the entire front of your body, knocking you backwards into the tent and slithers its way over you. It has like gaping holes of it that are seeming to move like liquid on the tentacle as it slithers over your body, pressing you down onto the ground and holding you there. Ouch.
Owie. Oof. I got some boo-boo.
And the act stops.
See that, right? Because
Everyone seems to notice, including the dancers on stage. They freeze. They drop the ribbons in their hands and they look to you. To you, to the tentacle.
Oh, tentacle.
And the entire audience stares in your direction, the wind knocked out of you laying on the ground. What would everyone like to do?
backstage? Backstage?
Yes. Do I have my senses again? Or
You
am
do.
Okay, so
Yes.
How you doing, buddy?
we gotta get that. Not that way. The opposite direction of where everyone is looking. I'm gonna try to sneak backstage, whatever side of the stage that is. It's a long way to go, but I am trying to get out of here too.
What about Miss Riley?
Oh, I'm not playing that kind of character here. What about her?
I am. Let me read
Okay,
it.
don't look at anything. I think you are clearly not up to this. Watch out for ribbons.
You got it, and I'm taking off.
Will you check to see if my mom's okay, please?
I don't even remember who you are.
Can I make an insanity check because I got touched by a tentacle?
You absolutely will be. We were going to come back to that.
Okay, no, then everyone else do
No.
your thing. It's fine.
It's time. You lay on the ground, gasping for air that has been pulled out of your lungs. Roll your sanity.
22. Under 58. Let's go.
Great. You feel once again the pushes on your brain like thumbprints in different parts of it try to take hold and fail. And in response to failing, the tentacle starts to wrap around you, and if it can't grab you mentally, it will grab you physically, and it pushes you into the ground, the dirt patch that the tent sits upon. You can feel it through the laid out rugs of an entrance. You can feel yourself being pressed down into the dirt.
I'm gonna bite it to try to run away.
You're gonna bite it?
Yeah.
Oh no.
The important thing, sorry,
to know what it
this
tastes
is not
like.
just like a weird, like quirky for its own sake. Lenore comes from a family that like scrappily made their way into like a street gang that runs parts of Providence, but she was used to fighting in alleys. Like she was a scrappy kid. So what she understands is she is in a fight where she's overwhelmed, and you always fight dirty.
Yeah.
So she's going to bite and kick and like none of it is
That's
polished.
going to have to be a separate sanity roll.
Yeah, well, of
You're
course.
biting into it. Sure, yeah.
But get a little chop.
What would you like to roll to bite?
No.
Fast
talk.
Brawl.
That's gotta be brawl. You can brawl with your mouth.
Yeah.
I said what I
My
said.
brain went mouth brawl, and it just does not enjoy that at all. Absolutely not. 87 over 25.
Okay, was that your brawl?
That was my brawl.
And how about your sanity?
Oh yeah.
Only the best work. Only the very best.
56 over 58, under 58. So we're okay. The biting isn't the problem.
Is it not? Here's the thing. It's not that easy when you bit the tentacle. You think
I'm
a
not biting for
regular
flavor.
You think a regular
You think this is the
success?
first thing I bit?
Oh,
That's
you
wrong.
think a regular success is enough to get by biting this slimy tentacle? It isn't. Roll intelligence.
Oh, buddy.
I'm gonna do real good.
So
I'm
good.
gonna roll so low. Yeah, 29 under 80. That's almost an extreme success.
Wow.
We're doing great.
You do bite into the tentacle. And the liquid moving and forming pools on top of its skin pours down your throat. You feel it like you can feel an active infection spreading into your body. You feel it taking place in your bloodstream and spreading down your arms, into your hands, down into your stomach. You are transported once again. The circus melts away. The people remain, but the tent disappears. The people all being little yellow guys in their sweet little masks and their sweet little collar, and all of them are staring at you like the circus was as you laid there on the ground. They're staring at you and they're pushing in closer. There's a few hundred of them, like there was in the audience, moving towards you, standing over you. The circle closest to you closing in flashes. The mask becomes members of your family and flashes back. And it flashes to a different member of your family and it flashes back. The sound of the band playing continues in your head and they move melodically to it in unison towards you. Each of them pulling out into their pocket and reaching for razor blades. You know this is almost a family calling sign at this point to have razor blades in everything, reaching into the seams of their clothing and pulling out more razor blades, piles of razor blades, pulling them out of every seam of their costumes, starting to pull them out of the edges of their mask, of the hair of your family members. They're finding razor blades in them and dropping them in front of you, and then they start to bleed up the arm in the same place you cut the bouncer. The blood sprays over you, laid out on the ground, still gasping for air. The stuff that's dripping into your throat starts to taste like blood. It pours into a pool that shapes and shifts and moves into these gaping holes and then reforms again into liquid and covers, drenches you in blood. And you are going to lose 1d8 of sanity.
Oh.
That was not in the dice tray. 6. It was nicer to you the second time. You lose 6 points of sanity.
Cool.
Laying on the ground, all of you could see this giant thing slap it. Who was looking in that direction? Oh, you!
Witness me!
It's very. If we heard noise like after he picks up Patrick, and he's moving, and they're trying to get out of there, and I'm following behind her, and she looked. He probably would have looked.
She was heading towards the direction of Lenore, I believe, right?
I was, yeah.
I know
So I would have been
that
looking that direction.
Freddie was planning on taking off, right?
Yeah, I'm
You were
heading in
moving
the
away.
opposite direction, going backstage.
You can do that. Absolutely. And the people on the stage are completely frozen, so you're able to make your way in that direction. But you are heading towards it. Where are you, Margaret?
I'm right next to him because he's holding Patrick. And I have not stopped just looking at Patrick for any sign that he's still in there. So even though they've turned to look, I'm focused on my husband.
So the two of you are going to make a sanity roll.
All of my dice are
As what you can see is the tentacle slithering over your new friend and
okay.
the only person who was smart enough to show some respect to her.
56 under 80.
10 under 60.
Let's go.
Both of you succeed and are uncertain of what you're seeing. It is just a mass of darkness. It's too big and too covered by the crowd as you're heading towards them to fully make out, but you do see it moving over Lenore's body as Lenore lays on her back with her mouth open, dripping liquid out of it.
Can you get them backstage?
Yeah, I can. I mean, I don't really know the way, but I can get back
He
there.
knows that. Just follow. He's already running. Just follow
Right,
him.
okay, are you going to be all right?
No. I'm just gonna take off, I think, to see if I can drag you out from underneath the tentacle and head also in that direction backstage.
As you head backstage, you notice the backstage is like completely empty. Red jumpsuits lay strewn around, but there's no stagehands. There's no other acts. The kiddie pool, which usually has an alligator and a child near it, are just gone. Maybe they evacuated when the noise happened, but it is, things are knocked over and empty. It's just you backstage.
No brother anywhere.
No brother anywhere.
I will call out for him.
Yeah.
Bobby. Claudette. He's not totally heartless.
Thanks, man.
You do know her mother.
That's my mother's name.
You call out, and you don't hear back from Bobby or from Claudette, but
Penelope.
from the side of the stage, Penelope steps outward, hands down at her sides, eyes bright golden yellow.
Shit. I'm going to. Okay, so as soon as I see that, I'm gonna start to step back. There's a curtain that separates backstage and where the audience was. I'm gonna open the curtain. And I'm gonna say really loud, Penelope, what is going on? Where is everyone? And I'm gonna throw open the curtain so that anyone behind me might be able to hear and maybe get a glimpse of what might be happening.
You're all a bit tied up at the moment, but you are absolutely able to open the curtain as Penelope slowly walks towards you.
That's not normal.
There's a weight to her feet when usually she is graceful and smooth.
You know what? Fuck this. What's around me? Is there so there's tables and stuff that are toppled over?
Yeah, what would you like to find?
I would like to find do we have anyone like a I don't know, someone the sword that someone
sword
would
swallower?
swallow. Yes.
There is. Malicia, who does fire twirling, does sword swallowing as well. Roll your luck. Let's see if any of her swords are back here.
Okay. I just got to get under my luck. that right? Yeah.
Oh, you have to use your luck for stuff?
Yes, I rolled a 4 again. My second time rolling 4.
Let's go!
That's
Oh
an
my gosh.
extreme success.
Yeah.
You look over, and to your left, as she still slowly moves down the hallway, thuds of her boots coming towards you, and there is a rack with one sword left on it. There's still a few sticks that would typically be lit with fire on the ends strewn around it, and just the one sword. And if you would like to grab it, you can.
I'm gonna grab it, and I'm going to try to stab her through the chest.
All right.
She murderer.
She moves towards you slowly. Roll your brawl for me,
I mean,
unless you have any other particular skill.
She looks possessed to me, so I'm going to. I believe in ghosts at this point for sure.
Are you gonna kill a ghost with a sword?
I'm gonna try to.
Interesting.
I'm gonna try to. Well, I don't think she's a ghost. I think she's possessed. So brawl, yes.
Yeah.
28. My brawl is 50.
Let's go!
So,
Okay.
can I use luck to make it the
like a
meet
better
the
success?
middle success?
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
How many luck are you spending?
I'm gonna spend. So that's 28. I just need to spend 3 to make it 25, which is that.
All right.
To meet that.
And that's your hard success or your extreme success?
That's my hard success.
Okay. Let's then upgrade the damage of that a little bit.
Hard.
Yeah, actually, you roll a d4. Or I'm sorry, a d6. Do you have one?
I do.
Yeah.
A 5, and my damage bonus is 0. So it's a 5.
Okay. You rush towards her, slowly pushing down the hall towards you, and without any response from her or resistance, the sword cleanly slides through her diaphragm, straight into it. This is not typically what you do. You feel it struggle through, avoiding bits of bone, through cartilage, through organs as it slides through, and you feel every detail of it reverberate through the handle of the sword. You've stabbed someone.
His eyes widen in sort of shock and horror.
And she doesn't react. She looks right at you with her eyes still glossy and yellow. And all she does is reach for your face to grab onto the sides of your temples. And meanwhile,
Yeah.
So I'm taking her advice. I'm starting to follow Freddie. I think that's their name. And following them towards the backstage. Carrying Patrick along with I assume, coming with me.
Yeah.
okay, so you're not stopping at Lenore then?
No,
we split up.
yeah,
Right,
she was saying she's going to go to them. I need to get she asked me to get them to safety, and I'm not a leader. So,
You do as you're told.
he will take and goes, all right, and heads back to follow you.
Sorry.
And you are trying to get Lenore out from under the tentacle.
Like, is there like an arm or a leg or like, is there something of her that I can grab onto that I like can try and like pull her free? Like, what's the like?
Absolutely, you can. You are starting to regain your senses, at least. I'm gonna leave that up to you, how the experience affects or changes you. You've lost a significant amount of sanity. So much so that you do have temporary insanity. So you will become conscious again as she starts pulling on your arm. You are going to have to roll with a good amount of precision to not... Are you trying not to touch it? Or are you just going for it?
I don't know.
You're just going for it, aren't
Yeah,
ya?
I don't know if I think I'm panicking at this point, and I don't know that touching it would be bad, or then it maybe is gross.
Sure,
So
yeah.
I think I'm probably just more focused on getting to her. I don't know if I would like know enough to avoid it, honestly.
Then that's a straight strength.
62 under 70. I like just made it.
So you're able to get arms under her shoulders, essentially, like under her arms, and she starts to try and pull you out from under the tentacle. Would you like to tell me what happens?
Yeah. Lenore is at this point just like babbling. She's talking, but it sounds like she's trying to talk while her mouth is too full of blood or ichor or whatever that liquid is. And the moment you hook under, she grabs your like hands,
Hey, it's okay.
and you actually feel her like in her like trying to wrench away from what she thinks is another tentacle. If you'll allow it, I will dislocate both of my shoulders as she begins to contort herself in ways that her body is never prepared for.
Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. Okay. It's okay.
She is fighting for her life at this moment.
and
But I
I
don't
am-
want to attack you specifically.
Absolutely, you can.
I just like feeling that like of that, both of that happen like in my grip. I don't really like, I can't really get her in another place. I'm gonna just try and do my best to support her without pulling on her arms even more, and just like drag her bodily as best I can using all of my strength
Sanity.
away. Cool. Okay,
You
doing-
do. You feel like there's another tentacle coming from behind you and trying to slither up under your arms. You do pop both of your shoulders out of place. You pretzel, if you will.
So here's the thing.
And you're going to take additional damage for that.
Yeah, sure.
So here's the thing. So I rolled an 87 over 60.
Oh no, I'm not at 4. I'm at 7.
I have 27 luck left exactly
Not.
to hang on to this.
I can't tell you how to live your life.
That is entirely up to
like,
you.
what
This
time is it?
Look, and this is your sanity.
Yeah, right?
This is your sanity, so it's a time of significance. But here's what I will say. If you do it, you can lessen the effects, most certainly.
I still imagine it's going to affect me,
won't
but it's more
negate
like,
the effect.
yeah, I was like, this could be very bad. Do I use it all now? I think I should use it all now.
How many hit points do you have?
I got 7. I'm great.
Yeah, you have 4 less.
Cool. I got 3. I'm great.
Oh my god.
So I will burn 27 luck points to hit 60 to try and lessen the effects that feeling her tear herself apart under my hands is doing to me.
Great. Still roll your intelligence.
Sure. I probably could have saved some luck for that. I probably don't need it.
Let's see how well you know what has happened. Let's see how many pops you feel from those bones separating.
Oh, I feel so many.
Interesting.
No, I don't. Or maybe I feel nothing. So I got 77 over 50.
Beans.
That's good. You
I
want
don't know
to
what's happening to
fail
me.
your intelligence.
Yeah.
It is
Remember, smart.
overwhelming. There's so much happening. You feel the cracking, and it feels like when you pushed through the audience and you felt the bones crack.
Can't be good.
But what you can't understand is this thing in front of you. It looks like formed liquid. You're not able to identify what it is as a large thud happens outside of the flap of the tent. You hear one on your side as well, slapping the sides of the tent towards the backstage area. You are going to lose a little sanity as well.
That's a treat.
I'll go a little mad as a treat. You take 5. You lose 5 points of sanity. How are you doing?
I haven't lost any sanity yet.
Well,
Have now.
Welcome.
we started 15 minutes late today, so there's time.
Yeah. Gucci.
Oh, yeah.
You stand with a skewered Penelope
Yeah.
Pixel on your sword backstage as you hear people making their way in. You probably can't see them coming in, so you don't know who's coming in behind you,
not
but you
paying
do
attention.
hear shuffling footsteps.
Do I see that?
The first thing you see when you push past the curtain backstage is Freddie with a sword all the way pressed through her chest.
Shit. And do I see the angle that I'm approaching? Am I looking at the back of Freddy, or am I looking, like, seeing him from the front? Do I see her face?
You see her face, and you see his back
Okay.
pressed up against.
So seeing her face and the gold eyes and everything, he doesn't know what that is. He's going to gently drop Patrick to the ground, like put him down.
Yeah, you can put him down.
And try and separate the two of them.
Margaret, you see all of this as well. You see Freddy, who you know well, impaled. You see him impaling, rather. Miss Pixel, not impaled himself.
Not yet.
The way that we walked from the VIP section to backstage, did we come close to the stage where the performers are still standing?
You did, yeah. They've held completely still.
Are they still wearing their masks?
They are.
Okay. As we're walking through, Margaret is following Ronald and Patrick and does kind of a double take at the performers just standing like stock still, and she's going to take like she has this lingering look watching Ronald continue to carry Patrick away, and is going to turn and go back to the performers with her like eyes fixed on the floor.
Interesting. And what are you trying to do?
So, okay, and I'm just gonna set this up.
Yeah, let's
Margaret's
go.
whole job is wearing a blindfold all the time and navigating,
Yes.
spaces. Like she, if anybody would be comfortable walking without making direct, like needing to look at what she's doing.
Absolutely.
And she is going to take off her like fur wrap thing that she has, and she's going to hold it and try and like use it as sort of like if you I don't know, like a dog poop bag. like her hands in it, and she's gonna try to grab something without it actually touching her hand.
What do you want to grab?
One of the masks off the face of one of the performers.
Incredible.
That's so dope.
Thank you.
For all of you and everyone at home,
Oh, it's so cool.
that is what you're looking at. But you're not looking at it, fortunately for you.
Hey, Margaret,
I looked
don't
at it.
bite that.
I genuinely was not going to.
Okay. I'm just
But
thinking.
thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Got y'all. You looked.
I looked. Well,
Reaching out and touching this thing, you do feel like a little bit of grip on the mask. You do feel like it start to loosen. You start to hear even like threads start to pop on it. And more threads start to pop as you pull, and it feels like it is sewn on. Would you like to continue to pull? It's giving resistance, but the threads are popping. It is coming off.
Could be sewn onto like a hood. It doesn't have to be bad.
Yeah.
I got
I'm
two
gonna
layers
keep
of
pulling.
skin. It's totally fine.
You do. You keep pulling, and you keep hearing the pops of threads, and you feel the resistance as it pulls on their face, pulling it off. But you don't see anything, and you do manage to pull, and eventually that last thread pops and releases. And looking down at the ground, what you see is a body collapse into a pile. It doesn't maintain even the structure in its clothing. It's boneless, essentially. The limbs, the body, everything is all there, but it falls like a rag doll.
I lied. You should bite it.
What was there a sound that it made when that happened?
There was not a sound that the figure made at all. There was only the popping of the seams. The music from the band continues to play.
Oh my god.
And you only hear the thud of it hitting the ground. You don't hear bones cracking or anything. You hear it like someone dropped a rope on the ground.
Margaret is going to keep her eyes firmly fixed on the ground and just borderline hyperventilating. Like, she has not stopped crying this entire time. With trembling hands, she's going to repeat the same process, kind of like feeling around in the air to try and pull another mask off.
As you repeat the phrase that you're used to saying, right, to your husband, speaking, well, wouldn't you like to tell the audience something? Quietly at first, but then louder and louder, you hear your husband's response phrase in unison. It starts on the stage. It starts maybe in the pile in front of you, but then the 5 beyond it, and the audience around it, and looking, if you were to look out at the audience, you see all of their mouths moving, and each of them is speaking back, well, darling, you see, our friend that's with us today has brought you something, and I know that you can feel it in my hand. I know that you can feel it. Send it to me. Tell me what it is, and it's Patrick's voice. It's many of Patrick's voices.
Margaret doesn't believe for a second that it's actually Patrick, and as she continues to try to get the next mask off, she shuts her eyes tightly and pictures herself just giving the middle finger to the air. That's what she's sending. That's what she's sending out to whatever might be receiving a signal from her.
Roll sanity.
Let's go.
If you're gonna mentally connect with it,
Such a boss.
Roll a 1.
Okay. 41 under 70.
Let's go.
that's a good success. You hear the rippling of Patrick's voices, and you picture yourself flipping off whatever it is that's in your head, and you start to feel like your brain is flooding a little bit, like the rain outside flooding the inside of your skull, but then it dries back up. It doesn't take hold. It doesn't fill. And you're able to continue reaching for more of the masks, and as you continue to pull and rip the threads, more bodies crumble like a rope on the ground, like a unraveled pretzel. And you're not looking at the figures on the ground, you're just looking at the ground around them.
Yeah.
You're able to continue doing that. Are you going for all 6?
Yeah.
You can get all 6 of them. All 6, you rip a mask off and they collapse.
Does anything change in the room at all when she pulls the last mask off?
Another thud slaps down, loudest that you have heard yet, at the tent flap. Close to you two.
Yeah,
Sweet.
I was gonna say, I heard that.
The thud outside of the flaps that are closed. The light that had been let in by the break where you could see out into the rain is suddenly covered. There is not an ounce of light coming in, but there is suddenly a large mass pressing up against the edge of the tent, and the wall in front of you is pushing towards you.
Miss Riley, I need you to get up. Miss Riley,
And
Miss
you
Riley.
can come back around.
Cool. I would love to begin by retching out a bunch of black ichor and, mumbling about blood.
Yeah,
Being soaked in blood.
I'm sorry. I know. I probably it hurts or something.
Ow!
Yeah. We can't fix that right now. We have to go. Can you walk? Can you stand? Can you run?
What is that?
Don't ask. Can you run?
Yeah.
Run.
There's nowhere to go.
Backstage.
No. It's inside us. It's inside our
Okay,
heads.
come on. We're running.
can't
We're running.
Let
we're
me
running.
go.
We have to go.
Run. Go run.
What are you gonna do?
Doesn't matter.
Just come backstage with us. Come backstage.
No. What's inside my head?
The band cuts. The music stops.
Small miracle.
You hear it.
Run. Get him out.
Okay.
The music did stop as you pulled off the last mask.
With the music stopping, I think I'd probably take a look over my shoulder at the stage.
You see masses of tangled limbs. You see collapsed bodies with a question mark curled up into a ball, almost as if they've disappeared out of their clothing, but it's just that there's no form to it. Their faces crumbled in with their limbs over the top of them, and you see Margaret standing holding the last mask, facing down, covering her eyes.
You gonna let a con artist Carney outdo you in the bravery department?
The moment you turn back around from looking over your shoulder, just Lenore, both of her shoulders just hanging a little too low, is walking towards the side of the tent, not where the mass is pushing in, but I want to move to the side and go out and under. So I want to see whatever this is. I've been punished mentally for knowing, but I will die knowing.
You want to see what the mass is outside the tent?
Mm-hmm.
And you?
I think I will continue to not try and stop her from doing what she wants. I think I go to try and goad her into wanting to live, and I see that she's already decided to die. And I run to Margaret.
Margaret's just like her entire body, you just see pulsating from the heaving sobs that she has not stopped doing. And with each mask that she's pulled apart, literally pulled apart at the seams, her sobs have gotten more and more strained and heavy and physical.
Hey, you did a good thing. You did a good thing. You did good. What did you do?
And she's just gonna hold one of the masks up and still.
I'm a little afraid to look at that, to be honest, so I think we should just go backstage. Miss Riley's gone. There's a big monster on top of the tent. No? Why is everybody saying no to going backstage? What do you know that I don't know?
And she's just, like, she just falls to her knees, crying.
Come
and
on,
just
come on.
crumples.
We're not gonna die in this tent. I'm not dying in this tent. I was born in this tent. I'm not gonna die here. Come on. And I'm gonna try and, like, lift her bodily and try and, like, drag her backstage.
As you start to, do you allow her to drag you?
Yeah.
As you start to drag her backstage, we come around to you. You've been able to, do you want to take the sword out? Or do you want to go for another one?
I'm going to.
Always.
I mean, because it hasn't really changed.
She's bleeding profusely. It's not that it isn't working, it's that she isn't mentally responding to it. Her body, on the other hand, is physically taking the damage.
I'm going to pull the sword out.
She does not seem inhumanly strong, but her hands sit on your temples as you start to feel the fingerprints on your brain. And suddenly, in front of you for just a second, you swear that's your brother.
Oh no.
And you see him impaled on the sword as you pull the sword back out, and he looks at you with the same shock that he looked at you with as he slid down the rope, and he looked out to you before what he thought would be his death in panic, and you see that face.
Oh my god, I dropped the sword.
And it's Miss Pixel in front of you again, standing, reaching out to your head.
I push her away.
You stand behind him.
Yeah, I was running up to try and separate the two of them.
Yeah, you can absolutely pull him away. Is that the goal?
Yeah, I'll pull and kind of push off her, using my strength to just kind of send her back.
she doesn't resist being pushed backwards. She stays on her feet but stumbles backwards, but you start to feel a squeezing on your brain as well. It's not something taking over or taking hold, but you start to feel something reaching for you. It's maybe feels like you suddenly become like aware of all of the blood on you. It feels like there's more than there was before for a second. Oh, it's her blood. It's because there is more.
Yeah.
Her blood once again pours out onto you from her abdomen. I've described 3 different parts in the center mass of her body
It's
of
fine.
where she got stabbed. All of it.
It was a 3-pronged sword. She had 3
was a
esophagus.
fork.
It was fine. She was a fork swallower, and it was very special.
I mean, it's all technically the same general area.
It is.
Center mass.
Torso.
Mid-meat.
Mid-meat.
So he shoves and pulls you back, and you see him. He's like, it's like he's salivating too much, like he's gonna throw up. Kind of that like the salty taste, and you can see him kind of like trying to swallow it down as he pushes her back, and so he goes like, are you all right?
I don't know what's going on. And I start to back away. I don't know what that is, but I don't know.
I don't know what it is either, but it's probably best if we just go. Just go. And you gotta get out of here.
Selena makes her way into the back of the tent, dragging along Margaret, heaving.
Come on, it's okay. Don't look at that, actually. What did you do?
We gotta find there's I'm assuming, maybe I'm wrong, another entrance, another way out.
There is. There's like where you would typically come in and load in.
Great. I'm not bothering to explain anything of what just happened, and I'm gonna go and exit.
Wait. Is there stuff out there?
Roll a spot
There's
listen. Or a
stuff
spot
in
hidden.
here.
Or
All of us?
actually, yeah, I'm gonna have everybody roll. I think there's a listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Direction
Yeah.
listen. Actually, everybody who's backstage will listen.
Oh,
Not
good.
you.
Nah, I'm not
Not you.
listening.
We'll come back to you in just a second.
I'm not gonna,
Okay.
because the blood on him is starting to like make him think about
Then roll your sanity
something else.
instead.
What else? What
Oh,
else?
someone's got a dark past.
You got a dark past?
No, not by his own volition.
That means that you do?
I rolled a 7,
That's a very good success.
but he's just, it's making him remember being on a different continent from the years around 1916.
As the blood penetrates your clothing and you start to feel the warmth of it getting colder on your skin as it's soaked all the way through, your vest no longer on and just to a button-down t-shirt, and the presses are on in your brain a little bit. Unlike how they've taken us to a lot of fictional things, you're just reminded of true and terrible things that you've seen. There's no illusion in them. They have no part in this. This is yours.
Yeah. And he's just going to kind of just take a minute. He's kind of just trying to wipe his hands on his pants, and he collects himself, and he goes to try and pick up Patrick again, because having a goal is helpful, but he's too distracted to listen to whatever's happening.
How did you do?
I got a 20, match 20.
Okay.
My listen is 70 and I rolled an 88.
My listen is 40, and I rolled a 52, but I'd like to spend luck, if I can.
Okay. Yeah. That way, just because you're not really all communicating right now, do you want to just spend it to get to your number?
Yes.
Okay. You can absolutely do that. And both of you notice at the same time, you are also welcome to spend luck to it. If they've already heard it, you would get to your number as well. And what you can tell is, after the thud at the front of the tent, light has started to come in on this area of backstage, and the rain has started to pour.
Can we tell what the quality of the light is? Like, does it look like sunlight, like
It does.
daylight?
It looks like daylight pouring through. It looks like whatever was covering the tent has moved towards the entrance, which would be away from the back of the tent.
That seems like a green light to me.
Okay, but be quiet. If this thing hears us, what happened to Lenore is gonna happen to us.
I'm going. I don't know if I have enough time to process, or even, I'm probably not.
You haven't
you're going,
seen
you're
what
going.
happened to Lenore either.
I didn't see. I don't know what you're talking about. I just know that I saw someone who looked to me like they were possessed. Is how he's rationalizing it, and all these people in these like mind-controlled state. It's not good.
Miss Pixel has dropped to the ground and lays in a little less of a heap than the dancers, but just lays bleeding, currently still seemingly conscious and just bleeding on the ground. And you do see the exit flap where you load in, typically, that you three would be aware of as you're picking up Patrick to get out. And as you say, please be quiet, you do hear a shriek. And you distinctly know that shriek.
Uh-oh.
You hear your mother, Claudette, as she tumbles in on her knees through the back door covered in black ichor. And she wipes it off of her, and she reaches up to you and she goes, we have to go, and puts a hand on your cheek and pulls you out the flap.
Uh-oh.
She does not have cloudy eyes. She is a mess, though. She is hurt, and she is gross.
I think I had you at that time, too. I don't know if I would have let go of you as I'm being pulled by my mom, so.
And she's pulling you like a parent does, like pulling a kid in the mall to try and keep them close by. She grabs you with a lot of authority and pulls you forward. The fear in her voice is overtaken by her protective nature for you, and she grabs onto all of you.
Oh.
And pulls you out of the side of the tent. And out in the rain, the black ichor starts to drip off of her as she just picks up running away from the tent, trying to pull you all with her.
Have you seen my brother?
No.
I keep running. I look back as I'm running towards the tent, and maybe there's a hesitation in my step for a moment, but then he keeps going.
Carrying Patrick, you are able to move away from it, leaving the tent behind you if you choose.
Yeah, he goes to get out. He feels responsible for Patrick in a way because he said he would carry him, and so he's trying to get him out and not wanting to separate him from his wife. So he's just following them, but he's not really. His brain's somewhere else. He's just kind of on autopilot because he can't. He's having a hard time focusing, and his brain's kind of half in one place, half in the other.
Patrick is murmuring a little bit, and once again just going, my wife, and he's still stammering to try and speak to you, like hanging over his shoulder, and you hear a slight echo of his speech come from Claudette. As you run into the rain, we move back to the front.
Yeah.
You open the flap of the tent to see what's outside.
Yeah, very specifically, she would try to like move to the side, not run towards the mass, because she just wants to get eyes on it.
Bold.
Yeah. Look, three hit points. I've had dislocated shoulders. You don't run with those. So she's done and stuck. So she's going to slide under the tent and just trying to work hands that are slowly losing feeling. It's going to fish into her pockets for a cigarette and her lighter and just light up and get eyes on whatever this thing is. She's done here.
You pull back the tent and you see a heaping mass in front of you tentacles sprawled out, overtaking the top of the tent and covering most of it with its body. Where you look for its eyes, there are only holes, much like a skull, but there's still that layer of like fishy skin over it. It's not scaled, it's smooth, but it's wet and it's dripping with the black ichor, and there is face and face and face and face and face and face and face all the way around it. There are dozens of eye holes and shapes of noses and shapes of mouths that seem kind of conjoined into each other. Hard to tell which eye belongs to which nose necessarily, or eye hole rather, as it reaches out to pull you in.
I think in that very last moment, she doesn't flinch. It's the same thing with the ribbons. Like, she's used to that sort of like scrappy street fighting where something streaks at your face, you don't flinch, you kind of just watch it. And the last thing she does, as she kind of lets the cigarette fall away, is you see her work in her mouth as she pulls out her very last razor blade that's been kept in her cheek, and she just bites it and lets it come for her. Die on your feet.
You get pulled into what can't be a mouth. It's not where a mouth goes. It opens, and there's tentacles on either side of it as it pulls you and consumes you into it. And in the distance, you hear shrieks of pain from this creature as you slice open into it as it consumes you, dragging you through it and dragging your razor blade through as well. And that's where we'll leave you for today.
Wow.
Yeah!
So cool. Yeah.
Sorry, we ran a little bit over. Thank you, everybody.
That's great.
So much. You're all so wonderful.
So wonderful.
Oh my
This is
god.
gonna give me
I
fun
like
drinks.
circuses.
So scary.
That's scary.
I hope it was scary. I don't know. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to everybody who participated in the Discord. I'm glad that we could celebrate a little bit of this Halloween season with you. I'm going to jump into the Discord now, into our little voice channel. Once we end the stream, we'll give everybody a couple of minutes, but in a few minutes, I will be in there and we'll download on the show a little bit and chat for a second. We're going to go around one more time and tell everybody who you are and where to find you, starting with you, Luis.
Luis Carazo. You can find me online at Twitter and Instagram with just putting my name together. Luis Carazo, Carazo.
So good.
That's so
Hi, I'm Kailey Bray. You can find me on the internet, Hop a Barbarian, but also here, all the time. Almost as much as Saige is. There's lots of stuff I still am not allowed to talk about, but most of the other stuff is here.
Alex?
Oh, hi. We're going the other way. My name is Alexander Ward. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram under that name as well. And I do stuff on occasion, and sometimes I can talk about it.
Amazing. Hi, I'm Aabria Iyengar. Follow me on social media at Quiddy, Q-I-D-D-I-E. Check out my content over at Critical Role, Dimension 20 here, and New York by Night.
Oh yeah, New York by Night's a thing that we both do.
We both do that.
Yeah.
It's great.
And you're allowed to talk about it.
Yeah, I can talk about that one.
Hi, I'm Emme Montgomery. I'm a voice actor, TTRPG player, and full-time streamer on Twitch. You can find me on all platforms at Negaoryx, Negaoryx. And actually, the very first horror game that I did voiceover work for just released this past week.
Ooh.
So if you're looking for something spoopy to play after tonight's very spoopy vibes, check out Hello Puppets Midnight Show on Steam.
Yay!
I'm a huge horror fan, so it's a big moment for me. I'm
Yeah!
very
That's so
So proud of
exciting!
you.
And I'm Saige Ryan, and I have been your keeper for this evening. You can find me everywhere on the internet at NotSage or here on this channel. This officially concludes our Halloween content for the season. We did a lot of it. I'm very tired. Thank you so much, and thank you once again to Chaosium for making this stream possible. We appreciate you so much. We do have a code popping up in chat. If you weren't lucky enough to win one of these giveaways today, you can still get 10% off of anything on their website with the code PIXEL10. we used the Monster Companion for this that was absolutely wonderful. This one is from the first edition of them, of Malleus Monstrum. So check it out. It's very cool. It made my life very easy because I've never run this game before, and it was quick to pick up this week.
You did
So
such a good
It was
job.
so
You were
good.
amazing.
Yeah.
This was so fun.
thank
So
you.
good.
It was a little King in Yellow story, so everything was yellow. And that's it, everybody. We'll see you in the Discord. Thank you so much.
Yay.
Good night, friends.
Horror feels good in a place like this.